My name's Sam. This is SamBar podcast. This is James, and that's Eli. Eli worked for me. He left for boot camps in September, right before the hurricane hit. That's why we've been kind of absent. We've been doing storm work and trying to catch up on stuff here around the shop, getting office built and all that fun stuff. But timeline is Eli left for boot camp, and then storm hit a week later. We worked the storm for about 5-6 weeks, then caught up on stuff at home. Eli is home. Tell us why you're home.
I broke my finger pretty much, tore all the ligaments, broke it right above and below the knuckle. So they did surgery on it. Well, first they just stitched it up, sent me on my way. And then a week later they're like, well, this is not getting any better. So they did surgery on it. And then pretty much sent me home on medical leave, convalescent leave for the next 30 days or whatever. And then I'll go back up there like here this weekend, have more appointments, and then they'll decide if they want to send me home for another 30 days. If they want me to start therapy up there, if they want me to, whatever they want me to do, they'll kind of decide.
Moral of the story is careful when you're wiping your grocery hole. Don't get too carried away. It does bite back.
If you get too excited, squeeze a little too tight.
Yeah, whoop, or too early.
Shit hits the fan, quite literally.
But yeah, so we did.
Yeah.
We worked the storm, got home. There's a lot of activities that we probably just spent 20 minutes talking about it.
Yeah, probably 20
and
minutes. Yeah.
And I'm not saying all that again. I know they don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So but we just pick it up from here. Eli, you about to be leaving here again.
Yeah, I leave again Thursday, I'm pretty sure. I was going to leave Wednesday or Thursday, but probably going to end up leaving Thursday. I got to be back up there Friday at some point before 1700 because that's when I got to be there. I had an appointment the 6th, which will be Monday, off post with the guy who did my surgery, and then they'll just kind of go on post, see if they want to clear me to return to training, see if they want to kick me out medically, see what they want to do with my life, because I pretty much have no say no more.
So yeah, this episode is just going to be, this is the crew. We're all rocking Freedom Wood merch.
Freedom Wide.
Yeah, Freedom Wide. That's what my tag says. But it's just, we needed to put out an episode. Getting people lined up has kind of been difficult. We've been busy. And he's getting ready to leave. And it's New Year's Eve. So we're going to do a bonfire tonight. We didn't really have anything going on. So we're like, hey, let's record. So yeah, this is kind of, I don't know if you call it behind the scenes, but
a little bit, get to know the guys a little bit.
Yeah, it's home team. This is the A team. This is the A team right here. The thing is, I didn't realize people listen to our stuff. I just do it because it's fun and kind of gives me a reason to. Yeah. And then people are like, dude, when you putting out another episode? I was like, of what?
Yeah.
And then
I have episodes.
So people, I was like, yeah, this ain't epilepsy. I ain't having another.
Hopefully never.
Yeah, but there's always so much to talk about, and then.
That's how it was at basic. I remember I get my phone for Sunday 15 minutes for a couple weeks.
So much stuff,
and I was like, I have so much to talk about. So leading up to it on Sunday, I was like, okay, I gotta cover all this. As soon as I get my phone, I'll be like, it's the first time I talk to people who aren't here doing this. So I was like, hi, how are you?
Yeah,
I forgot my phone.
Yeah,
it's like I send you 15 snaps over the course of a week, and all I get is a hey, and then you don't say anything.
Every Sunday, I'd be like, I watched them.
Yeah.
After the storm and all that stuff, which for those people that kind of follow me, they know the old bucket truck took a tumble, did a little Humpty Dumpty in Augusta. But it's since been replaced with a better version of it. I call it the General Tree. Yeah, I made that up. I'm proud of it.
Pretty good. Yeah. Gotta give him some credit for it.
It's Cody. I think you'd be able to show it. And it's pretty cool. It's the other one that I had was a forestry truck, so and it was good. Didn't really have too many complaints on its design. It did what it needed to, and it worked out. But after working the storm, I realized I needed winching capabilities and lifting stuff. So the new truck that I got, it's got a bigger motor. It's got the 9-liter versus the 6.7. It's 4x4, It's got a 2,000-pound winch on it. It's got still an over center bucket, which was huge to me, having the ability to
That's a
a
big
lot
deal.
more maneuverability. Oh yeah. So we did pretty good on getting the truck. And whenever I got it, I was like, man, everybody around here's got a white truck with stickers on it, and that's what my old one was. And I'm like,
Need something different. Need
Yeah.
something that stands out.
yeah, even the biggest companies around here, like RDA and
everything
SunPlus,
everything
it's
looks
just
pretty
a
much the
white
same.
truck with a sticker on it. So I was like, I'm gonna get it wrapped. Originally I was gonna wrap it like a deuce and a half or a 7-ton, something like military vehicle.
Go with the name.
And then I went to Gulf Coast Graphics, and I was like, all right, this is what I want. I said I thought about putting the like the Mustang, like the shark mouth thing or the warthog, and the designer understood the assignment. He sent me up a proof, and he basically went with like the World War II style theme. Like there's rivets that match up with the toolboxes. Like it just, the detail on that was so
He hit the
good.
spot right.
Oh,
first
they
time.
did.
I mean,
They did it. The only thing that I changed from the original proof, it wasn't even a change. It was more of an addition. I think I changed the font because the original font was like almost like cursive or calligraphy, and I was like, I wanted a little more block letters. But we
easy
got
to read,
General
catch
Tree on there. That's the name of the truck. I made the design because like my logo is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's the
Freedom,
freedom, the ease and freedom, the flag, and I like that logo. I'm still sticking with it, but I was like, I needed something different. So on the truck, we've got the star, hence the general, and then in the middle of it, you see outline of the tree, so the general tree, and if you look, the star is also the same style star that the Mustangs had. So it's like the amount of detail that crossed over and worked out is so perfect. Telling you, I've said this before. I feel like I could probably have a side business of just naming people's businesses for me. I've even thought about rebranding to like General Tree Service. What do you do? Tree service in general?
In general.
Just in general.
Nice little motto.
We just do general tree service, and also that's the general tree. But
nothing special, but you know.
no, but I love that thing. Seeing people. I imagine that's what it's like to drive a Lamborghini or Ferrari or something. Because like anytime we're at a gas station, anytime we're driving by,
Everybody looking. Everybody looking.
that's the scene of Will Smith in. But anyway,
It's an eye catcher.
Drove it in a parade.
yeah, we'd had a Christmas parade. He drove it because other people had family commitments. That was pretty funny.
Sadness.
We were, it was your birthday, so you were finally 17. You were driving a Class A CDL vehicle
In a parade. Surrounded by police officers.
But
Hey, we ain't got to talk about that.
Which
Spilling the beans.
I'm an auxiliary officer here, so I was like, dude, I'll pull you over if you're doing something wrong. But yes, I mean,
It was a good time.
getting it out there
Oh, yeah.
and that's what I'm trying, like getting merch, which even that has kind of worked out because the guy that did our hats, and we've got several different hats now. Where are we at? Like 6 designs, I think. 6 different
6 or
designs.
7, yeah.
Yeah, plus, I mean, you just got some. in that
Most
box.
of them are Richardson's, but we've got 6 hats. I've got this style hoodie, and I'm about to come out with the General Tree hoodies, just the star with the circle and all that. Heck, hold up your phone. It's on.
Oh,
we've
yeah.
got stickers made on the
For the decals.
green has kind of
Bigger ones, smaller ones.
become the color. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Green is I love the OD green.
The green.
Military green.
So,
Yep. So I'm just at this point I'm just trying to build branding. So between
You want some merch? Reach out.
between hoodies, stickers, trucks, all my
Hats.
vehicles now have.
I was about to
Because
say,
originally it
his
was like,
vehicle.
well, I'll just have my work
Yeah.
vehicles. Now it's like if I'm driving it, I'm gonna put stickers on it. So it's you see enough of it, you're gonna start recognizing it. You may never need it. My whole reason in even getting the truck wrapped, like around here, I mean, I'm sure there's people watching all over, but if you're from Mobile, you know who Pitt and Sons is. Yeah. You don't have to have a semi truck, or even if you've never gotten towed, you know who Pitt and Sons is.
Yeah. You see the truck, you're like,
yeah, you know who they are because they have the big trucks with the wrapping and stuff. You recognize that. You can see another big truck. I've gotten to the point where I see other trucks that aren't Pitt and Sons, and I'm like, is that Pitt? No, it's not. So that's kind of where I want to get to, like, wrap all my stuff in the chip truck. Once I'm done building it proper,
got that new thing on there.
I want to get it done in a I may not wrap it, that one, because it's got to be repainted anyway. I might see what's the best I can do with, like, finding a flat green or a matte green paint.
Yeah.
And just paint it green.
And put the black.
And then just do the black logo. Either black or white, either one. But do the same logo on it. And just, like...
see what it does.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean... It's pretty much at the point now where, like, you see a diesel coming down the road, you're like, that Freedomwood cow?
Yeah. I'm finally reaching the point where I want to be. Is like people are recognizing us
Tesla hate to see
more
James
than
coming.
The work that we've done, if that makes sense. Like more people.
Yeah. Not just the people that have had work done.
There's 200 people that recognize us when we've done 100 jobs. Yeah. Like it's kind of that ratio.
Yeah. That way, even if they don't need us, they're like, "Oh, you need this."
Yeah. Man, I saw this guy that so many people, whenever a storm hits or like whenever they get a tree on their house, they panic. They don't know what to do, and then Chuck with the truck down the road has got a chainsaw.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I'll get that. And he comes in like
He's not billing insurance.
I probably got $500,000 in equipment. So I've got the equipment to do it properly. It's not just, I spent a lot of money in equipment, so you need to hire me so I can pay it off. No, like I spent the money
to do full time,
right, to do it safe, to make sure. And the key word here is mitigation. How do I prevent more damage from happening? Because I see, like we saw it in Augusta. There's a tree. Like here's the roof of the house. There's a tree laid up like this, and it's sticking up over the ridge. They went in there and cut it at the ridge, and the tip fell down on the roof and then like rolled off the house. I'm like, are you serious right now?
Probably put a few more holes in it for sure.
Yeah, or cracked at the least, cracked 2x4s. So it's like, yes, you can probably do it cheaper, but it's like, okay, I come in, let's say I'm $15,000 to pull this off your roof. Yeah, you spend $15,000 with me. Let's say you got $10,000 in damage already done. So now you're at, $25,000. Let's pick a number. But a guy comes in and does it for $2,000. But in the process, he does another $20,000 to $25,000 in damage because now instead of just dealing with a few broken shingles on the backside, now you're talking broken plywood, broken 2x.
The majority of those dudes don't have insurance to cover it.
No. And then a lot of times what happens is not even that. It's insurance companies, they know what's original damage versus what's negligent damage. And they won't cover that other stuff. So, yeah, go with the cheaper guy. And then you're going to end up getting stuck with a bill that insurance isn't going to want to pay. That's something else that we do. We can bill them directly. You won't ever see insurance company.
You won't ever see a bill.
It's just, there's a lot that I've learned. I mean, I didn't know this stuff 6 months ago, so, and I took the proper courses. Like I went to Savannah to go sit through the class, and I'm going to attend more classes to be able to help out. Cause I couldn't imagine let's just take that tornado that almost hit us. If there was a tree on the house, I know what to do. But if there isn't, like let's say a tornado comes through here, rips my house apart, I'll tell you, I don't know what to do. I know to call my insurance company. They'll send out an adjuster. but I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Do I start trying to tarp stuff?
Yeah.
Like I would tarp stuff if there's not a tree on the house, but the insurance company loves those because like after I heard this at the at that class that I went to, after tornadoes hit. I think it was in Tuscaloosa. There's a bunch of teenagers going around just cutting stuff off of roofs and throwing it off. Well, they were screwing over the homeowner and the tree contractors. They thought they were doing a good thing, and in their mind they are, because, hey, we're helping get it off the house.
And just,
But the thing is, now you threw it off the house. Now it's a big mess on the floor. The problem is, insurance will no longer cover it if it's not touching the house. If it's no longer a threat, well, it's no longer a threat. They don't pay for debris hauling. They don't pay for that cleanup. So now you've got this big, huge mess and a gaping hole, and now you got to figure out how to get this mess out of here. The customer is going to end up being out of pocket unless they have the equipment to do it themselves. They're going to be out of pocket to have to get that mess cleaned up. So it's like when stuff falls on your house, specifically trees, do not be quick to yes, it's raining. Yes, you want to get it tarped, but reality is most of the damage that's already done, it's there. It's not gonna.
Yeah.
Remember the one we did in January? It's a year ago. We did that job. Tornado came through, or maybe it was just a bad thunderstorm. Came through 2:00 in the morning, dropped a tree on a friend of mine's house. He texted me that night. Hey, no rush. Call me in the morning. I called him around 6. I kind of figured it had something to do with the storm. I called him. He said, hey. Actually, he left a voicemail too. He said, no, it's fine. We're okay. It's raining in our spare bedroom, but he's like, just call me in the morning. He didn't touch anything. We showed up. We removed it properly without damaging the rest of the house. Because you had to support the tree as you're cutting it off. That way you're not, like, if you cut it off, you're going to drop it, bust the brick out, bust the window out, bust the AC unit. So we were able to save all that, got everything off the house, build insurance. Insurance covered everything. Homeowner was happy. Everything was, so like when it's done right, it's good for everyone involved. So,
Yep.
But that's just like a PSA. Like it needs to, and I need to do something locally of like raising that awareness. So, yeah, PSA. Don't fuck with it.
don't fucking touch it.
No, but
Stop, I'm doing something.
yeah. But that's enough. I'm really hoping to get a crane in this little snippet. I know I'm just giving you more work. Just like I'm really, really, really wanting to get it done. I've already talked to BIK. Y'all were there for that conversation. I told James about it.
Yep.
BIK called me. They're like, what you want? And they sent me a quote. Everything, like, all I got to do is sign it. It's $800,000, but all I got to do is sign
but
it.
it's there.
That's pocket change, honestly. Yeah.
Really and truly it is. I mean, once you need $1 million to make $500,000. And I know that sounds like a weird ratio, but you need $500,000 to make, you need $1 million to make $500,000, but you got to do it more than once.
Yep.
And that's when you get that return. So, I'm looking at BIK. This is why I'm going with BIK as of now. Whenever I talk to their sales rep, if your equipment breaks down, if it's like warranty stuff, and they work good with local shops. So like a local hydraulic shop, they'll overnight parts to you. So that's awesome. If it's something that's like very specific to BIK, they will fly in a certified tech to you to do the repair.
Damn.
There. You don't have to drive 12 hours to get your truck to wherever. So like, I looked at the quote that they sent me. It's $800,000. That's including delivery, including the crane operator that comes out with the crane, spends 3 days with you teaching you how to run the thing. They send out a sales guy that teaches you how to sell that crane. like how to sell jobs for that crane, how to make more money than just tree work.
Yeah.
And like that to me, because sure, I can probably find one. Let's say I find one for $500,000 that's got some miles on it. It's got some, but I don't have $500,000 cash. So unless I can buy that
That's
cash,
crazy.
well, and let's just assume I had $500,000 to go buy a crane for cash.
He lied
At
to
that
me.
point,
Better be getting paid for that.
you're getting $800,000 for a crane. Go ahead and put that as a down payment,
Oh yeah.
and then you still have a new crane.
And all the extra stuff that comes with it.
All the extra
All
stuff that
that
comes
shit.
with it. So I'm like,
all
I don't know. That's the way I'm looking at it.
And I mean that's how you kind of looked at everything going into it. I mean,
Well,
the motor you buy.
I have bought used stuff,
Yeah.
and it's bit me. Now I feel like, the general,
At least
it's
since I've
used,
been working with you.
but it's
Yeah,
it's fairly new compared to it had under 1,000 hours on the PTO. A lot
That's
of
not a
trucks
lot.
out there, you 4,000 hours, and trucks are still going for 70, 80 grand.
Yeah.
So
I mean, same thing went through right before you got the new dually. I mean,
yeah, oh yeah, I went through like 3 trucks in 4 months, and
Yeah.
probably we did the math.
you got to pay more up front, but it saves you money in the long run.
Well, this is the math that we did.
a lot less hassle.
From February, I bought the first secondary truck, whatever. I bought a truck in February. It was a 2,500. I had to put some money into it. Then I got another truck. It was another dually. I had to put money into it. I spent $8,000 from. This is not including the truck, by the way, the trucks. I spent $8,000 in maintenance and repairs on these 2 trucks. That's like brakes or accessories like airbags, all this stuff. And the trucks were still having issues. They still weren't perfect. So from February to August, I spent $8,000. So let's do the math on that real quick. That's what, 7 months, I believe.
yeah, because
sure. 8,000 divided
Give or
by
take,
7.
I don't know the
So we're talking
Maybe.
roughly $1,100 a month. Is if you break that down, that's not
about what
counting the price of the trucks again, as
Yeah.
just repairs and maintenance. And I still had a truck with no AC and all the like everything sucked. They're 2-wheel drive trucks. I went and bought a new dually. It was brand spanking used. It was like 9,000 miles on it. Somebody bought it and then ended up closing down their business. So they took the hit driving it off the lot. Paid $58,000 for the truck. My monthly notes on it are $880.
Haven't had a problem.
I haven't had anything wrong with it.
Nope.
Yeah.
I mean,
Looks
so
good,
far
drives good.
things are gonna eventually go wrong. But I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm paying. With insurance, I'm paying $1,000 a month, and I drove it to Augusta, and I drove it to South Carolina. I drove it to all these places, and I'll tell you what, I would not have been able to chase this storm if I hadn't spent that money up front on that dually.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, it takes.
Well, man, you
That's
drive it
what the
everywhere
saying
here,
goes: takes money to
close
make money. But
Yeah.
you're gonna. I always say, buy once, cry once. You either spend the money up front and you use it good. I've got that. Look at the chipper.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
yeah.
y'all weren't even around. Cody knows the old chipper. I had
I've heard about it. But
like probably 10 grand in the chipper in the life of it, and it wasn't even the money aspect of it. It was slow. It was
The
like
headache of
it was
it not
headache,
working
man.
like
It
it's
was
supposed
always
to.
something.
yeah.
It was tearing belts and the process was slow production. Spent 50 grand on a chipper. That's up to the point where if the chipper's down, I'm not going to work. That's how
Yeah.
much I've gotten used to.
Chippers down. I'm not going to work.
Yeah, yeah. So that's where I am.
We the ones that had to do this. You still
I
have the
grew up-
bucket. We the ones that had to do this. shit.
I grew up.
See, he cares
The
about
way I
this.
grew up, my dad was very much like, if you can't buy it for cash, then you don't need it. And in a way, I
Dave
agree.
Ramsey.
For wants, but I guess needs and wants are different. But like
Yeah.
buying, I completely agree with that. Saying if you can't pay cash for it, then don't get it. Yeah, when it comes to Louis Vuitton purses or the latest and the greatest bells and whistles vehicle, getting a new vehicle every
New
2 years.
phone, all
A
that.
million
Phones,
percent, I
everything.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting a new phone just because Apple came out with a new thing. Sure. But
That's
to
Colby.
She did get a new phone. I
but
forgot about
to
that. He can't use it now.
look at stuff that's gonna make you money, because like I spend a lot of money. I spend almost more money than I make. But anything, whether it's boots, like we talked about this the other day.
Yep.
JK boots, it's over $600. But I've had mine for almost 2 years, and they're just as good as they were the first month, and I don't have to keep breaking new boots in.
Yeah.
I used to spend $200 on a pair of boots, and they would last me 6 to 8 months. And then I'd have to do it. So right now, money-wise, we're at the same stage. If I'd have just kept buying new boots every 8 months.
But you ain't
And
gonna
you
go
don't
through the
gotta
hassle
break
every
them in.
time.
Yeah.
You know.
So I'm that way. I'll spend the money if it'll make me money. I'm not good at stock market, but I buy the crap out of some equipment.
Yep.
So anyway,
That's the way to handle it.
I've been talking a lot. Y'all talk now.
Yeah, I'll talk now.
I think he's up 1,000 words plus, and y'all have like 20
Yeah.
between both of you.
Oh yeah.
20,
That's normally how this goes.
2025. And it's a normal day. Hey, look,
because
I'm not
the
used
camera's on. When we talk outside the camera, y'all will be like, no, dude, no, listen.
I'm not used to having the headset at work, so I don't get to talk. It was like yesterday on the job. I just didn't talk.
Yeah,
So I was like, I don't know what to
yeah.
do. This
Yeah, I'm
is
like,
new.
does your mic not work, or are you just quiet?
Peter,
He goes,
what's going on? What's
I
happening?
was like, are you?
It's just my time of the month. Y'all leave me alone.
He's just judging. He's just upset because his finger don't work. Like, make a fist. That's what it looks like. I'm not flipping you off. That's actually
As much as we bend.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, I mean, military gonna pay for it, so
Hey,
can't complain.
Another one.
Exactly.
I'll do it again.
I'm just saying,
I may
dude,
go back, do it again, get sent home, go back to work again.
dude, I'm telling you,
He likes spending
if
time
you
with
want to
us,
be a partner,
Just to lose that
Just-
finger.
lose the finger, pay for half the crane, and
Make me an office next one. We just built you.
yeah, dude, I've got half a Connex left.
He'll even let you take a picture with it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
we do got to write you up at least, though. Don't let me
Yeah, yeah.
forget, because
Nah,
I
I won't
forget
let
to.
you forget.
I got to get with Chad.
I told you, by
Wednesday.
the time I leave to go back, y'all gonna be sick of me. I'll be over here so much. Just about live over here, about to get a lease for it.
We I don't think you. Well, I'm gonna say we've had Colby, so but he didn't really stick around. I ain't sick of you. I had
no.
other people that I was sick of being around, but
Including me.
Why'd you bring Colby up?
Yeah.
he wrecked my barn.
That's fair.
Technically, this is true.
Technically, he wrecked your loader into your barn.
Even worse.
It's a double whammy.
Thanks for reminding me.
You're welcome. Hey, he's gone now. He's gone. The bad man.
But
is
not
gone.
forgotten. Dadgummit. I
He'll
didn't
be
get
back.
rid of him.
He'll be back.
He's on the floor crying right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's getting reamed right
Yeah,
now. Well, no, he's in receiving, so they're not. Well, if
They don't smoke, like they don't
Yeah,
physically
you're
work
just-
you out, but you
but
just
mentally, you're cooked.
You're cooked
Yeah.
and you don't sleep. Like he called us last night when he like right before he got there. He's like, "Bye guys, good night." I was like, "Don't say good night.
No,
You're
no.
not going to sleep.
No.
You about to be up."
Dude,
I'm going to sleep.
One time I went to boot camp and we stayed up for like 48 hours, and I've been tired ever since.
My favorite part of that intro. One time I went to boot camp, like you've done it more than once.
Yeah.
This one time I went and it was cool.
This one time at boot camp, ow.
He'll be alright though. I think he'll be alright.
Cody can't
Hopefully he
hold a
comes
straight face.
back.
I think he needs that. in
Oh
his
yeah,
life.
I think it'll be good for him. It's definitely gonna be different for him than it was for me because it was weird even like
Yeah.
Sunday when we went to go drop him off. Like he walks outside the house, like we're all we'd take the picture on the driveway, same one they took with me, and he like getting all teary eyed, crying, getting everybody hugs, and my dad was like, "You didn't cry?" What? I was like, I'd moved out before. I moved out twice. I didn't really live with them anymore. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
wasn't the same.
It's
Like
just
this is the
next-
first time he's been gone from home for longer than like a week.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
I think this will.
Like it's gonna be.
I don't even want to say toughen him up, wake him up a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's gonna.
Also, I'm really
gonna
ready
shake
to
him out
see
of a
the
couple
pictures
things.
of him wearing his. We call them covers. I don't know what y'all just hat.
PCs.
Yeah, that one.
Control cat PC.
He's wearing it like
Cody
this.
knows.
I just.
No, I'm telling you, the first
I'm
time
gonna kill myself now.
I remember watching like the first time we walked out in basic at our OCPs. and we would be like, we all had like our patrol caps on, and like they would stand next to the like walkway up to the CTA and just smack it off your head if you were wearing it wrong.
Yeah.
And there's always people like wearing like a ball cap, so they got it like the back of it, like, because they say like the whatever's got to be parallel with the marching surface.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
when you do that, like the brim,
Parallel
obviously
to
it
the
doesn't
neck.
fit
That's what
like,
we call. That's
yeah, it doesn't fit like a ball cap, but like your brim is still like down above your eyes, and it's like you can't like it just feels like you're not supposed to be wearing
I
it.
was trying to
Where'd
find
you
my
put it?
covers around here somewhere, but
Yeah.
on my.
No, but that's how. Yeah, so they there it is right down the ground behind that
there you
table. Nah, but they would sit there and they just smack it off your head, and then for like literally like 3 weeks, people wouldn't learn, and they walk out, be wearing it, and they'd be like, all right, this whole place getting fucked up. You go stand in the middle and tell them to get up and down. I was like, what
You're
the
gonna
fuck?
do up downs till
said
I'm
what?
tired.
Yeah.
Now, this thing's a little busted, but that's a medium. That was my size. I love during receiving week when everyone's just like,
No one knows what to
and they're
do.
like, I don't know how to do, and they look stupid, like a busted can of ass.
Oh yeah.
About like you, for real.
And then, first off, I don't remember asking you.
My favorite part
You're
of
the
game was-
only civilian here. I'd shut up.
Hey, I said what I said.
But it was, I remember. I mean, I think that's about right. Got a lot more hair now
Yeah,
than I did.
that's pretty much.
then, but
Mine- yeah, mine-
it's got to be parallel
when you're
to the
bald, it
deck,
sits a
so
little bit lower.
your eyes, like, you almost had to do this to see.
Oh, yeah.
normal. But
But that you
see, I
also
always
can't do
wore,
that.
I always wore sunglasses. So I went to boot camp. That sucked because I couldn't.
Oh, it was.
I couldn't see. So I actually preferred because
I was gonna say I always had mine sitting real low.
Yeah, and
it just
then-
made me feel like a badass sometimes.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
all bad.
Once
you see
once they're making me feel like a bitch.
You see the
Oh,
drill
yeah, you feel
instructors
better.
because they're wearing their stuff
Dude.
like this. They're like,
Yeah.
like, get up, get down.
Ours has that stinking wide. They have the wide brim, like the
Campaign covers.
Yeah. Like I forget what they call them, but it looks like a state trooper hat.
Yeah,
it's real wide.
Well, we
and then
call
the females
campaign
had
covers. I don't
yeah.
know what they're called for.
they
you guys.
just called them the drill hats, but yeah, they had the females had the one that like the half button up. Yeah, it was like a green. It was different than the dudes. Look weird, but yeah, they'd be sitting and all my
Howdy,
drill instructors
Joe.
were shorter than me. So they come up yelling at me,
And
and,
they
I'm
go-
like, yeah, they ain't looking up. They keep
talking to your
yeah,
tits.
they're literally yelling at my chin. Their brim is like hitting me right here, and I'm like,
You could be like,
Try to keep a straight face.
I literally could be like, not even looking at that, but they would never
just
know.
rolling your eyes.
Yeah.
Till the other one sees me.
Okay.
Look at this guy.
Oh,
But it was an interesting time. I loved it though. Honestly, like, I can't wait to go back in a way. I've missed honestly working with you guys, just because it's so much fun.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that's the one thing I love about this job. Like I've worked a ton of jobs between pressure washing. I ran a furniture store, like delivery team. I've done so many different. I was thinking about the other day, like I've done so many different things. My resume's full, but I ain't write them down because they give me bad reviews. But
Yeah.
if I wanted to, I could write down a list. But like working with people that you enjoy working with, and like people you actually like hang out with outside of work,
Yeah.
it
That's a
just
big part
it
of
makes it so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Because then it's not like it's more than just like, oh, I work with this guy, he's a coworker. It's like, oh, that's my buddy, like this is my friend.
Yeah,
It's
like what we're
Heck,
doing
we
now?
hang out outside of work. Like,
Oh,
we're-
yeah.
I mean,
Today we're hanging out
right
all
now
day.
we're doing this.
Yeah.
We're having a bonfire later.
So we're not getting paid.
So,
All right.
but
Man,
I was
I'm
I
gonna
was
leave now.
talking about some guy that worked at a paint store. I'm not gonna say who it is, but I was talking to Mallory. I was like, I couldn't be content to just doing that. It was me personally. I was like, if I worked at a paint shop, let's say Sherwin-Williams, we pick one, and I was just doing that for the rest of my life, I would paint the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
And she goes, yeah. And she kind of waits. I was like Kurt Cobain. She goes, yeah. And then she's like, oh, you're talking. I was like, yeah, there we go. It was a true 22 Jump Street moment.
Oh shit!
You're going to kill yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like even those jobs, like hearing those people talk about it. Like, I got friends like that. They're content, and they're like, no, I'm gonna move up. I'm
much fun,
I'm about to
bro.
be. I'm an assistant manager. I'm about to be a manager, and like all that, and be like, that's like, I can't be confined to that.
No.
I was thinking about it the other day, like if they end up discharging me for medical just because they don't want to deal with it, and they're like, well,
Dang on. I didn't know what
nah,
was
but they're like,
going
well,
on.
I don't. They don't want to deal with it. That's too big of a liability. Whatever they want to say. Like there ain't no way I could go back and do like some desk job or do something.
No.
That's what I was thinking.
way.
Like if they try and get me to switch my MOS, because I'm like helicopter crew chief, like I want to do cool shit.
Yeah,
that's what I want to do. I want to go to flight school. Want to get coming off. Like I want to learn how to fly.
The worst part of my, like, I guess mainly military career was, because keep in mind, I went through boot camp, went through MCT. It's all this, like, go. I get to my job school, and it's not as bad as admin. I think it might be worse. I don't know. I didn't go through S1 stuff. But my job was in an office.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm glad my job school was in an office at the time that it was, because it was in Virginia in January. So when it snowed outside,
don't tell me about it. That's what I'm about to do. I'm about to be in Virginia in February.
Well, it snowed outside, and I was inside because I was in an office. But it sucked because it's so boring. It's like, oh my gosh. That's why whenever I got to the unit, I was kind of nervous that I was like, man, I was gonna have to be in the office in the vault, because I had a TS. I was in a vault is where I was supposed to be. And I got to the unit, and they're like, well, we don't really have, like, yeah, the billet's here, but we don't actually have a job for you. Do you want to help? I ended up working in S3, which is operations for us, with I was in a recon unit. Most of the guys in the S3 shop were recon guys. So they were cool dudes that they're just chill. And that's how I got to go to the range a lot. I got to do more as a reservist.
That's the thing.
Than a lot of active duty guys did.
Oh yeah, and that's what, like, even the drills that were there. So we have like our drills that are with us the whole time. We had one of them get called away on deployment. But yeah, a couple of them they like de-hatted in the middle of the cycle and left. But most of them you have like your full-time drills that are there, and then like every 2 weeks or so, for like a week or 2 weeks, they bring in like the reservist drills. It's like that was their 2 weeks of what they had to do for the year. They got to be a drill for 2 weeks, whatever. So they'd come in and they would be like drill sergeant. You could tell, you could always pick them out because like it's just not the same.
Wait, so the reservists that got to pretend to be a hat, or they're reservist hats?
I don't know the difference, honestly. They don't really ask questions. But from talking to them, like their job was not drill sergeant. Like they'd all done things. There's a couple of them that used to
play to. You get to go pick on recruits.
And I don't know how. Like some of them, you could tell this is not their first like doing it. Like they'd done it before, but like you could always tell which ones were like went to drill academy, came straight out of drill academy, being a drill sergeant, and then like would fuck you up. And then you have the other ones. There's one drill sergeant Crawford, and he was the nicest dude ever. And he was like so chill. Yeah, pretty much. He was like joking around with everybody. He was kind of a creeper. He always like talked to the girl, and we're all like, whoa. But everyone was like called him drill sergeant pedophile. Not to his face, obviously. Yeah. But he was like, he's just a chill dude. And like, so after talking to him though, he was like, he used to be active duty, and he like had like confirmed kills and stuff, and you would have never guessed it.
That's always those
infantry,
guys.
And he was like so unassuming. He was a little bit like, he wasn't like fat, but he wasn't skinny. Like he was just like kind of had a retarded haircut. I remember like with the day we all got shaved, like every 2 weeks to get that shave or whatever. And they come through shave, like, oh, y'all's haircuts look the exact same, blah, blah, blah. He's like making fun of us in like his nice weird way. And we were all like, you cannot make fun of haircuts. He had like the hard part that went like started in the back middle and like diagonal down. It looks so bad. And we're like, dude, I don't know where you went. Don't go back. Like, let me know where you get your haircut so I can not go there.
Yeah.
But he was, yeah. And he was like, but you would have never guessed it. And he was like, no, yeah, talking to us about like some of his tours. Or, yeah, I had a couple confirmed kills in Afghanistan, all this stuff. Talked about a couple of his like people that he knew that like went down. Just like crazy stuff. And it's like, you would have never guessed him.
So, man, we were...
I don't know how I got started on that.
We were at... We had the Marine Corps ball, and I told Mallory, because we went... first ball I brought her to, and I'm like pointing guys out. I was like, see that guy over there? And he's on the dance floor and dancing with his daughter. She's like 6 years old, and and he's like just the nicest little teddy bear. The guy was like, yeah, that guy's got multiple counts in like in Afghanistan or Iraq or wherever it was. And I was like, that guy's got the longest. He's got like a mile long kill at our unit in Afghanistan. you never know it talking to
Yeah.
him. He's always, hey, like he was one of the guys that came up super nice. Hey, good to meet you. You know, where you live? Because obviously at my unit, reserve unit, so people come in from all over. I was like, oh, I'm here local. He's like, oh, that's cool. Super nice. If you need anything, let me know, man. I'll,
Yeah.
So
Nice
it's like you see that. Heck, my master sergeant, he was supposed to be on this, well, not this one, but I saw him at the ball, and he was like, hey, man, you still doing the podcast? I was like, yeah. And I was like, I hadn't really been able to get a schedule together. I was like, do you want to be on it? He's like, I mean, sure, just let me know. I was like, all right, cool. So we'll get him here eventually.
Cool.
But it's like, I didn't know he had a Bronze Star, and I knew he had a Purple Heart because I seen it on his car tag.
Yeah.
But he's always just, he helped me out. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure he's the one who put me up for like meritorious boards.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I appreciate it, but he's just good dude. I think he was active duty though before. Most of those guys were active duty before their reserves.
Starting to switch.
So, and especially I got to the unit in 17, so a lot of those guys that have been there for even 5 years, you do roll the math back on that.
They
A lot of them, like my gunny, whenever I first got there, my gunny was, I think he was in boot camp when 9/11 happened. So,
see, I had a drill sergeant who he was like, he told us, he was like, yeah, no, when 9/11 happened is when he like went and signed up.
yeah.
And he was telling us about like he was 19, he said, when he got his first kill. And it was like from here to Cody. He like told us a story about it. He's like,
Dome the guy.
yeah. And he was like, he was a nice dude too. I mean, you could tell like he was one of those dudes you're like, if anyone here's done something,
It's that guy.
it's that guy. And he was super nice. I remember when I cut my finger walking it or whatever, he was talking to me. He's like, yeah, asked me about how many stitches I got and stuff. And he was like, yeah, I got this cut right here. It's like this scar all the way down the middle of his palm, like wrapped around. I was like, dang, you fall on a rock too? He's like, no. He was like,
What a loser.
he was like,
No,
I was like, what happened? He's
women.
like, I got attacked by an alligator. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. I didn't say that. Never dreamed. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, really?
How'd that go
That's
for you?
awesome. He was like, no, I'm just kidding. But he really did. He was fishing and hooked an alligator and was like, I'm gonna get this bait back.
Stateside?
Yeah. He was stationed somewhere stateside. And he was fishing. He has a boat. He showed us his boat when he was taking me to the hospital one time. And he was like, that's my boat. But yeah, he was fishing. We got it, like,
UVA
went over
claim
to
it's
it.
not service related.
Yep. He went up to it and, like, tried, like, was like, I'm getting this bait back. And ended up
What was he
falling.
using?
He fell in and his knife straight through his hand.
Oh, so it wasn't even the gate?
No, yeah. But it was a way cooler sounding story than mine.
Yeah, no.
So now I'm working on something different. Right now we're going with repelling incident, but by the
Yeah,
time this
you gotta come with
episode
something
comes
better now.
out, it'll be better.
Yeah.
We're working on something.
Well, look,
There was no rock.
I'm good at coming up with stuff, so.
All right, just let me know what you got before I go back, because I told my drill sergeant I'd have something better by the time I got back.
We'll figure something out.
We'll do something off the books.
Or we'll actually do it and then.
No, if I'm getting hurt again, it's gonna be on post.
All right, well, he's catching up on the word count.
But I say you pretty much touched on every. I mean, I've been with you for the
What have I
past.
touched on? I done touched on everything but little boys.
This guy.
It's an Eminem quote. Don't take it serious.
Wait, so you have touched on?
Wait.
All right,
Oh, vacation?
He wants
Was
to
good.
go look at rocks or something?
Much. I did.
I'm not retarded, but I like
Not
rock.
retarded. Exactly.
Pretty sure that's copywritten by this point.
No, it's cool. Me
Yeah.
and Cam are cool.
Cool.
Yeah, we cool.
Cool shit, man.
we cool.
We good.
We cool. He lets me say that.
Yeah.
He lets me say the word.
This is what you say.
He's your proxy.
Exactly. I gotta be around him. It's like what he said to Theo. He's like, can I say when Theo's on Kilto? He's like, am I allowed to? He's pretending to break up with that girl. He's like, am I allowed to say the word? He's like, once you get out of here, I
You're like,
can't
me and you
protect
was cool. Once you out of here, I can't help you.
You're on your own. But yeah, vacation was good. Was much needed. Get away from y'all for once. For a
Your
little while.
vacation from
at
all your
least you said
vacation.
it. I thought you were gonna say
Yeah.
something stupid like, "Oh, get away from the hustle and bustle." Like, no, it's us.
Yeah,
Some
no,
wall
it's
quote.
y'all.
And by get away, he literally means not come here every day, because I think you spend more time here than you do at home. I mean, I don't
Probably.
care. I
Within
try
the
to
past 6
entertain.
months, anyway. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
but
I was like, pretty much since I met him, I thought he lived here.
hey, he's selling his truck. If anyone wants to buy one,
It's true.
Hit me up. Yeah, put something.
Piece
up
of
there.
it's on
shit.
TikTok.
Off the listing picture.
Yeah,
It's
there you
on
go.
TikTok. Go look at his TikTok. It's not cringy at all. Just go
No,
look at
it's a squatted, got real low profile tires.
it. He's got I think is 33-inch tires on 35-inch rims.
Something like that.
Some rubber
Yeah.
bands. Yeah.
Yeah, some whistling.
Don't hit a rock.
stuff.
Don't hit a rock.
Yep.
Done it
Zero
more.
0 to 60 in 7 to 5 business days.
Talk
But
so-
it
so
do
much
make
crap.
it do make black smoke when it go real fast.
It did
Truck
that.
go.
Yeah.
And it whistles like a dying deer, but it do
Yeah.
whistle.
Yeah,
It's like a frightened deer.
couldn't done it by myself.
James like, screw
Insert
this
the actual
podcast. Why
clip
I come
of
here?
it.
I say, I'm about to walk out and leave.
Dude, Colby left, and now
Yeah,
James
now
catching
it's
the
me.
heat.
Let's
Talk about Colby's ex.
Yeah,
Let's talk about someone who can't defend themselves.
need it gone. Need to get a Ram.
It's a nice. You do have a nice truck though. It's just not a Ram.
I
Yeah.
like it.
I mean, why don't you buy it then?
I said I like. Why don't I buy it?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm about to leave again.
Yeah.
What?
He already got a car.
I was about to say I just I
Alright,
got a diesel.
He's got a
I got a
diesel.
diesel.
Also whistles.
Yeah. That car is fun, dude.
It is fun, man. Like it's one
Yeah.
of those drive it till it dies, and then it's like whatever.
Yeah, it's like it's
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, it's a vehicle. I
Need
mean,
to take it through the tunnel later. Whenever we go over there.
it's honestly, if the AC, I don't know what exactly it is because the AC worked whenever I got it. But
Yeah, honestly, I mean, my truck ain't had AC for a while. It never bothers me. I put the windows down in summer, and there's like a few days where I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, very rarely am I just driving around in the middle of the day.
see,
Yeah.
that
Like I drive
car-
to work in the morning.
That car
I drive
was perfect
back
because
after.
Cody drove it for what almost 2 years.
No, the
drove
biggest thing,
it.
I'll fix the windshield wipers first, probably.
Yeah, that's kind of
I drove it the other day in the rain. Actually, when you called because you thought that tornado hit, I drove it down and sat by the pier and just sat there and
Did it?
watched the rain because I didn't want to sit at
Did you
home.
put Rain X on it?
No.
So it,
Highly recommend.
Yeah, no. I thought about it as I was driving back and was like,
this sucks.
but I mean, I could see good enough.
I can imagine you just chilling there, turtle box in the passenger seat.
That's literally how it was. I
know.
walked out on the pier for a little bit. It like started to rain, and there's these dudes out there. I mean, put on their rain jackets, and they were there to fish. They weren't leaving.
Yeah.
And then like tornado warnings went off, and they're like, "All right, let me get out." So I just went and sat in the truck, sat in the car,
Yeah.
leaned back, watched the rain, listen to music, watched some YouTube when I got
It's
bored.
even got a sunroof on it, dude.
Exactly.
Dang, that's
I remember
a
when I
nice
bought
ride.
that thing. I think I gave.
How much you want for it?
I remember when you bought that thing too.
It was like
I saw it before
close
you
to
did.
yeah. I think it was close to $3,000 whenever I got it, and it was in a little bit. I don't even know how much better shape. Anything that's busted on it is Cody's fault. He that rim that's bent. That was him.
That's what I've already thought about. I'm gonna get all new ribs, tires put on it, make it look cool. Do that and probably do a paint job to it.
Yeah.
Put-
It really don't need that much. And
No.
honestly, I mean, before you ever totally get rid of it, like if you ever tired of it, then just let me know.
Yeah.
Because you can
Keep it in the
probably
family.
find or rebuild that motor. And I think it's like 45, 50 miles to the gallon.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing that
crazy.
because I filled it up when I got it. I ain't filled it up since. It's got like, I think I'm getting close. I think I'm right at 500 miles on that tank. I still got a quarter tank in it.
Yeah.
My truck would get like, when that thing, I think I spent like $45 filling it up. It's pretty close to empty.
On the
On the-
Jetta?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then my truck,
'Cause it's like
my
a
truck, I'd
8 or
spend.
9 gallon tank.
I say my truck, I'd spend
That's wild.
like $70 filling up in gas, and I get maybe 300 miles on
See,
the tank.
that's the thing. You get over 500 in that thing.
Oh yeah, I'll
For
get close to $6.
$45 for 8 gallons. If I'm not towing, I get about 500 or 600 miles out of the Bighorn, for 28 gallons.
Yeah.
Or
And I think, and I've been looking into like the motor and stuff, and like there are people say it gets 500,000.
Yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
a diesel
So the
goes
mileage,
forever.
even though it's 300,000 miles on it, that's really nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh no.
it does need a like for me, it just wasn't worth putting money into it from where I sit.
Oh yeah,
But if you put it in a shop and you put $2-3 grand in it, that thing, like I would drive it to Seattle because it's like I think it needs a motor mount because I mean 300,000 miles is gonna knock some stuff loose, but it needs a motor mount. You know, if the AC gets fixed and all that stuff, the door panels and all that kind of being fallen, that never bothered me, no matter what vehicle I'm in.
No, my truck ain't. I mean, it got the thing, the door handles, the cover to close the door.
Do you like the headliner? Because it was drooped down whenever I got it. I took a staple gun and just stapled it in like a diamond pattern. It looks like upholstery up there.
It does.
But you can't pay somebody to do that.
But it's, I mean, I like that whenever you lock it from the remote, that sad little.
It does. And it does just sound cool.
It's just
so unexpected. As you get in it, and then they hear it start up.
Like I can hear that. I can hear you pulling in. That's what was funny there for a while before I had the Tundra. I was like, literally every vehicle I own is a diesel.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's manual, it's fun, man.
It is.
I don't know how good that clutch is on it, but the thing about it, let's say you do have to replace the clutch. I think the clutch for that car is like $300-400. If you pay a shop to do it, let's say $1,000 for them to swap out a clutch, and then the transmission, if it has to get rebuilt, I mean, you're talking $2,000 rebuild transmission, and then it's good for another. Because that one doesn't have a whole lot of electronics on it. That's what's so good about those. That's why
I love the truck.
I'd rather
that car.
give it to
It's
you
so
than
easy
sell
to
it.
work on.
The what?
I said without the electrical. Bullshit. Like you can.
It is,
like
and there's so much room under that hood. Like the little cold air intake is just sitting there.
Yeah.
Probably needs to be cleaned out. I don't know if you've done the oil change on it. It needs an oil change.
I'm about to do it.
Because I used to. I mean, I had several Civics, and I almost wanted to get another Civic, but I was like, I'd rather that Jetta over the Civic any day.
Oh yeah.
Ruslan's got a Jetta. It's a newer one. It's a diesel. It's got like 60,000 miles on it.
Dang.
And it's a station wagon. I would get that thing in a heartbeat.
Shoot, forget the dually. I'll just get that.
Because that thing has, I think it's a 2010 maybe.
Yeah.
So it was right before like their worst model diesels came out. Thing's pretty clean. I mean, it was wrecked, but once he just never got around to getting it done. But man,
they make for cool cars.
They do.
Yeah.
Especially you friggin' straight pipe them and stuff. That one's not even a straight pipe. There's just no pipe.
No.
It's just down pipe and nothing because it stops right behind.
Oh really?
Where the driver door is. That's where the exhaust stops. There's no exhaust.
Yeah. You
That's
can
why-
feel it riding in the passenger seat. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a
little car.
great little car.
It's like a big go-kart almost.
Yeah, and like when we drifted that day, and rip up on the e-brake. That's what I like, a two-wheel drive. You ever done tray sliding? Go get like some trays from McDonald's.
Oh yeah.
And then put them under the rear wheels, lock the e-brake, and then just drive in circles. The back will just slide around, and it's fun.
We need to do that today.
Right?
You know what we need to bring up?
What?
Next subject. Coulter Wall concert.
Yeah!
We need to
We
talk
did
about
that. We went and saw the Cowpoke Man.
Yeah.
I hated it.
That.
Not Coulter Wall. No, I love that.
Oh yeah, he was good. But
People suck.
generation is screwed.
Yeah, we were sitting there. We were sitting in the back, which I told Mallory, I was like, you're not buying tickets again. I was like, why'd you buy this stuff in the very back? She saw it was available because we waited too long to buy.
No.
But, no, we were sitting in the back. Kate Hoffman was opening for him. So
Good stuff right
that
there.
was real good. But these dudes showed up. They showed up late. They showed up after Cade started singing. They showed up and they were like, they're talking real loud. And I'm like, okay, whatever. It's the opener. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Then I forgot who it was. They're friends with Coulter Wall. Dadgummit. You know who it was. You'd named it. The band. Is it Vincent?
I got to save somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, that guy. So the other dude comes out, long hair, heavier than Coulter. Clearly not Coulter Wall. And he walks out, and they're like, "Woo!" I was like,
You don't know her, dude.
I was like, "Dang, he got fat." Like I said it sarcastically. I was like, "Dang, Coulter Wall got fat."
Yeah.
And they kept cheering and stuff, and I'm like, "All right, whatever." So they were done, and then it finally, Coulter Wall comes out. I'm like, "All right, maybe they'll shut up." And they kept talking the whole time.
Is that it right there under Coulter Wall? I think that was
Yeah, Vincent Neil Emerson.
Yeah.
But dude, they kept talking, and then finally, I was like, I said it loud enough for them to hear and get the point before I got super confrontational. I was like, you know what I love doing? I love paying a bunch of money to go to a show to listen to a bunch of other people talk over the guy that I paid to come see. And then the guy that was sitting next to us, I guess he got a little confident. He said it nicer than what I was about to.
Yeah.
Because he's like, hey, can y'all like be quiet? Because like we're here to see Coulter Wall, not you talk. Can y'all please shut up? And they're like, oh, my bad. And so like one of the guys kind of shuts up, and then the other guy was like, yeah, man, I've been telling y'all to shut up, man. Like, dude, you're part of the problem. You're not solving it.
Making it worse. Just stop.
So they kept on, and then after that, honestly, part of that crew got up and left. Like, just go to the bars. That's clearly where you want to be.
Yeah.
So they got up and left. And then he'd play a song. It was good. Then at the end of the song, before he'd play his next one, there was two guys. One was sitting kind of in front of him, and one was kind of off to the side, but both in the row in front of us.
Yep.
And they weren't the only ones. There was other guys there that were just screaming, play Motorcycle! Play 13 silver dollars. Like, just,
You only know two
I was
songs.
like, this ain't Spotify. Shut up. And they kept on and on. People were like getting aggravated. More and more people were getting aggravated. And they were sitting there fuming, almost not even enjoying the show because it's like, they're so aggravated.
They're ruining it. I mean,
they're really ruining the whole show. And then they're all screaming, going back and forth, like, and the freaking dingbat to the right, he was like, hey, let me come up, you'll play shoot a deer on your property, yeah. And I was like, this is the most Alabama thing that I could
you know how
witness.
stupid you sound?
I was like, first off, he's in Canada ranching cattle, not deer.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Shut
up. You know, this ain't about you. Well, anyway, he kept on yelling. And Coulter Wall finally is like, he said it super calm. He's tuning his guitar. He leans in. He's like, go ahead, keep yelling. See where that gets you. And then, like, leans back out. And I was like, ha ha, yes, yes.
Gotcha.
And they're like,
Got that
huh?
ass.
Because they were too busy yelling. They didn't hear what he said. They're like, huh? And I said, I'm sorry. What he said was, keep yelling. See where that gets you. And the guy's like, fair enough. And he finally they shut up for the rest of the two songs that were played. And I was like, you know what, Coulter, if you never come back to Alabama, I understand why. I'm a little sad, but I totally understand why. I was like, because people like this ruin it. I was like, this ain't Morgan Wallen. This ain't whatever freaking beat bop country you listen to. I was like, let the man play his instrument. Shut up.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was good.
Yeah.
So
Good time. Got some stickers.
got some.
He do good work.
Oh, yeah.
I was contemplating if I wanted to wear my cowboy hat or not, and I was like, I don't want to be that guy. But I brought it in the truck, but I didn't wear it at first.
Well,
And I had my baseball hat on. When we went out to eat before, and I noticed everyone that was wearing a baseball hat, they were like the drugstore cowboy. Like they're the one that walks in jeans, like
Overcompensating.
yeah, like shirt tucked in,
Trying way too hard.
way to like
Pearl snap that ain't never seen the light of
pearl
day.
snap, just like hamburger meat hanging out, got a gold chain on. Their hat is like buckled way too tight to where it's like sitting like this on their head, and they walk in, they're like strutting in, and I looked at them, I was like,
I'm gonna get my hat.
and they had like the boots on. It's just totally
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, that's their dress.
Very
up. That's
plastic.
their dress up outfit.
yeah. And I was like,
Let me look
I
cool
looked
for
at that and I was
Coca-Cola.
like, oh yeah, I'm going to get my cowboy hat. I was like, which I wore. What did I wear? Was it just a hoodie? No, flannel. I wore a flannel
with the vest and stuff.
my vest and jeans. Flannel wasn't even tucked in. It was just, just it's what I wear on a regular basis.
Yep.
And only thing that I had that was flashy was the boots that had finally just come in like 3 or 4 days before.
Yeah.
So I was trying to break them in. I had new boots on. Other than
Again.
that, I was like,
JK.
yeah. And I went grabbed my hat, which that was like the Black Friday deal. They if you bought a pair of Western boots from JK, they sent you a cowboy hat. And I was like, it's probably going to be a crappy cowboy
they're
hat. Dude, I have a hat I paid like $120, $130 for. It's a 2X, which, if you don't know this, the X's in a cowboy hat is how dense they're compacted. Most of them are beaver hair. I did not know that. But they're compacted, and the more X's it is, the more like it's a harder, better waterproof material.
It ain't gonna.
Well, the one they sent me is a 10X.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on their website, it's normally like I think a $300 or $400 cowboy hat, which is about an average Stetson. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm
Neat.
down for it. It was a good hat. It actually fits good. So I was.
Needed some new boots anyway. So
I was like, I went ahead and got it. But yeah, that's why I changed up my outfit, because I didn't want to look like every other douche canoe in there. And it's sad because like what I don't want to happen is same thing that happened with country. Like country was country, and then like it left the Toby Keith era and went into the
Luke Bryan. Era.
yeah Luke Bryan.
It got
All of them.
Douche
country
Bryan,
started
Blake
to get
Shelton,
Yeah.
all those guys. Like
Alright.
it went
Hey.
into that.
I like Blake Shelton.
his old,
Yeah,
his
but
old
it's
songs
like-
are good.
No,
Right,
but he does
it's
gender
the-
that genre.
What happened?
Yeah,
is-
country got cool, and then it got
It turned into the squatted trucks and hey, I'm
Country got cool.
Drop the tailgate and put your tan legs up in that tailgate, boy. We'll just drink some beer.
got gay real quick.
No one does that. Yeah, I laughed my ass off whenever Luke Bryan sank his truck on his farm. Did you see? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember the video of when he killed that dude, and he's like, "Is it down?
Is it down? Did I get him? I was like, this dude ain't never shot a deer.
I tell you, I'm like, bro, they popped a GoPro on them at the wrong moment.
I know.
yeah.
Is it down? That's the best part.
On a high fence hunt.
Yeah. On a sinking
that's not-
guided. Go sit in this stand. I'm gonna
Like
steer
he
him that
paid
way.
$5
Get
grand
ready.
to bring that set. Like it's one of those. This is like the Kennedy assassination. Like if you miss, some other dude's gonna get it. You know, like it's,
We've worked out the
that's a
kinks.
shameless.
Shameless little conspiracy plug.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm hoping doesn't happen, because like I like Luke Bryan. I mean, I don't. I mean, not Luke Bryan. Freaking Zach.
I was
Bryan.
about to say.
My brain
Bryan.
committed suicide.
Yeah.
I
brain just committed
I love Zach Bryan, but he is not on purpose and not of his own doing gonna ruin country music.
Yes. Like
And it's because his music is that good.
yeah.
But it's because people
It's
started
bad people turn good things bad. It don't matter
People
whether
started
it's rap,
to like it,
it's country, it's
and
whatever.
then
You
they
can
caught
take
on.
it
It got caught on, and now like he's the cool thing to like. People don't like him because they like him. People like him because
Yeah.
he's cool.
Yep.
Well, and that's what I'm afraid will happen with like Coulter Wall and stuff, because there's more and more people that are coming out that
Yeah, Red Clay Strays is starting to get there, dude.
well, yeah,
People are starting to chase, and it's gonna
Yeah.
piss
and
me
that's the
off.
thing. Like Cade Hoffman, great guy. Like none of these I have anything against, but it's just what my point is, it's becoming quantity. There's more quantity coming out of like that outlaw western, which I like, and nothing against the artist, but it's the fans that are gonna make their whole person. It's like the people that watched Yellowstone once and bought a cowboy hat.
Yep.
Yeah.
People like I remember when I was graduating high school, people that watched Outer Banks once and bought Hawaii shirts and left them unbuttoned. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Well,
What's wrong
or
with
let's take
You
how many people are going to
fucking
start wearing
Midwest.
coveralls now because Landman's out.
I ain't seen that yet, but it look good.
I ain't seen it yet
no,
either,
yeah,
but
it's
it's
how it
all
works.
field.
It's how it works.
Everybody's a roughneck now.
Yep.
I mean-
they gonna do it. They gonna
So-
ruin it, bro. That's all I do.
So
Yeah.
like no one can be themselves. There's no variety. Everything once
Just have an original thought. One original thought.
yeah,
Yeah.
once you something good comes out, like everyone just it's like that one good song that comes out and then you keep playing it over and over and over till it's not good.
Yep.
Happens
It
all the time.
And it's
That's why I
not
don't
just
listen to
music.
radio.
It's the culture. It's like
Yeah.
whenever we were in Arkansas, I think I got the video somewhere. If I find it, we can plug it here. But I was like, watches Yellowstone once. We were at my sister's house, and it was actually cold. We were there in, I think it was either January, December or January. We were up there, and our neighbor has a horse. And I got my Carhartt hat, like my beanie on,
Yeah.
my Carhartt jacket. And I was like, watched Yellowstone once. Shifts his whole life to the, like I walk
Yeah.
up, I grab the horse, and I'm like, good horsey. And I was like, well, this is it now. Sarcastically,
This
I was
is
like,
me.
I went and bought a Ram dually just because of Yellowstone. I based my entire
Gotta have that ranch life.
someone that was like, dude, you got to watch Yellowstone. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll get around to it. And then I've been hearing it so much, I was like, okay, fine, I'll watch it. All the music that I was listening to, like Whiskey Myers and
Yellowstone.
all that stuff, all the music. Normally, I watch a show, and then I'm like, I like that song, and then I go play the song till it's ruined. This was, I was like, hey, I know that song. Hey, I know that song. Hey, I know that. Yeah, I had it backwards, but, and I'm not saying like to be hip or cool, but I was like, I was late to the show. No pun intended.
Yeah.
But I was late because everybody, by
already
that
seen
point,
it, yeah.
3 seasons already been out. Everybody been
I already
wearing
seen it, yeah.
Carhartts.
I want to watch it, but I ain't seen it yet. No, I want to watch it. Look good. But it's one of those things that like I almost like get stiff at it because it's like everyone is watching it, and it's
Yeah,
like
it's almost like
I'm not gonna do it.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it could be the best show in the world, but because that punk that yells shit out at Coulter Wall's show,
Yeah.
is like this is the best show of my life. I'm gonna be like, fuck
I ain't
that
gonna watch
shit.
Yeah, I don't want to. It ruins it because it's like
And that's my own fault.
I'm not a rancher. I've never roped cattle, nothing like that. But my brother's got cattle.
That's how my mom's family
a
is.
cowboy hat is something that I've owned before that show came out.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
there's I'm
I
not
got
the only
3 or 4
one.
of
There's
them somewhere.
tons of people like that. But then there's the ones that literally it comes out and then all of a sudden everyone's Rip.
yeah.
Everyone's John Dutton. I
refuse to wear my Western shirts anymore.
No
'cause
one
I'm
wants
like,
to be.
no one knows.
Yeah.
Is it Jamie? Yeah, like no one wants to be Jamie in the beginning version of Jamie. It's like everyone's just I'm Rip. No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not.
Stop.
You have to say it. You're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I tell you who I am. I'm none of those. I'm a guy that lives his
I
life,
cut trees.
and I like
I
that
cut
show.
trees down.
Yeah, I cut trees down.
cut trees down.
So
No, I can't.
Yeah.
I just get.
and that goes for everything.
That's my
Like
own fault.
trucks.
I get too stubborn.
I mean, people take trucks and turn them into, like, a simple lift will turn into, well, I got a bigger lift. I got bigger tires. I'm like, can I just enjoy my little thing that I like?
Yeah, I just want to like it.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if you do.
Yeah.
But that's
I
the
know
way
a
the
guy
world
that
works.
does not
Everyone's got to be better. Everything's competition. Which, hey,
I'm
don't get me
not even
wrong,
gonna
I'm
lie.
competitive.
I used to be that way.
See, I don't even care no more, dude.
Well-
Like my truck, I love my truck. And people give me shit about it all the time. 04,
Whenever
blah,
I was
blah,
younger,
or 03.
like,
I don't give a shit.
younger,
380,000 miles, run like a champ.
about James's age. That's what I cared about. I wanted, oh man, that guy's got a nice lift on the truck. But it's like, the older you get, I guess now that I can have the lifted truck, I'm like, well,
Yeah.
Need to order that kit for the dually.
yeah. Now, honestly, if I get a lifted truck now, it's for a purpose.
I was about to say,
Like,
it's
I'm lifting my
functionality purpose
dually
now.
a tasteful amount. It's like the hitch on my dually sits way too low. It's a flatbed, so I can't just
Yeah.
move it up. Like I have to fab and do a whole lot of stuff. That'll end up costing me more than if I do like a simple lift. Plus, I want to get the bed further away from
Yeah,
the
get
wheels.
up on the tires a little
And
bit.
I'm like,
Yeah.
a tasteful lift that serves a purpose is fine. But I'm not doing the whole, put 6-inch lift on it with 40-inch tires just because I'm like,
Yeah.
why? What's the? I mean, I'll respect the build, but if you're getting it because someone else got it, that's
Yeah.
when I'm like, dude, just be you.
Yeah.
It gets exhausting.
Oh, yeah.
Chasing all the latest trends. But I do like my bighorn though. That's
My
like
Bighorn do look good.
Yeah.
That's what, dude. 16-year-old me would have been like. That was my dream truck. It really was. I graduated high school. My dream truck was a 4th gen Ram diesel.
Yeah. Before I started
Side
working,
flex. I've got like 4 of them.
before I started working for you, truck I got now was my dream truck. Started working for you, no longer my dream
Yeah,
truck.
it's a piece of shit. No, it's a good truck. I rip on you because
it's
and
fine.
it's a good truck, but practicality wise, like I've always liked Ram because of Cummins, and I like
yeah.
Cummins because my brother had them, and I've seen like people actually do stuff with them. They all have their drawbacks. Like the new Cummins, the 5th gens, they have their issues. They're saying that the 2025 ones that are coming out might be the best version of the 6.7 because they are getting the 7.1, I think, or the 7 liter.
Yeah.
But they don't want to release it till they work more kinks out. Right now they're in like
Yeah.
box trucks and stuff. But the new 6.7 allegedly is gonna fix a lot of the problems that have been had. Like it's going back to a CP4, but they're changing a lot of stuff on the CP4. Like, why the CP4 fails? So, little mechanical nerd side quest here.
The more you know.
In the pump, I might get this a little off, but there's a rod that goes in there, and it goes into this pin. Yep, stay with me here. And there's a roller pin that basically it's supposed to move. The problem is instead of it being lined up this way, or like let's say this is the roller, instead of it being like this, it'll turn and it won't spin anymore. So now it's just friction. That's why you get the disco party.
shavings.
It's just metal shavings over
Yep.
time, and it grenades the whole pump. The pump itself in theory, is a better pump. It delivers more fuel. It's a better pump,
Yeah.
but it's poorly designed. So they're saying the 6.7, the new 6.7, is supposed to have this the CP4, which they're like Ram went to the CP4, then went back to the 3, I think, till they can figure out how to fix the problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like, if it is in fact getting the CP4, that means they're
It should
doing
be
it
fixed,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of the other things that have failed in the past, they're trying. So this might end up being the best version of the 6.7.
there is.
And then in 2027, Ram is supposed to do, because they haven't had a new truck out since 2012, I believe.
Yeah.
Whenever
It's
the
been a
4th
while.
gens came out,
Yeah.
that's been like they hadn't. That's 12 years of the same truck. Sure, they changed the headlights.
Yeah.
They did. The cab is the same.
Minor things.
The doors are interchangeable. Like it's been headlights and grills that have changed. That's
mirrors.
it. Mirrors.
Ever since just you know,
Yeah. And the mirrors are recent too.
Yeah.
So in 27, the rumor mill says, hey, we're going to be like completely new everything. So I'm excited to see where
that'll
it's
be
at.
interesting.
But kind of going back to the whole reason I brought it up, like you said, you see now that it's like, yes, the 6.7 makes cool dying deer noises. And it's a nice truck. I like the interiors of them.
Oh, yeah.
More than I like that year. I like, when
Yeah.
you compare apples to apples, I like that
11
year
to-
forward more
11
than
to
I like.
16. That's
But I'll say this, the new Rams, they've got, like, I think the only one that's not invited to the party is Chevy.
It's just kinda there.
The new GMs, they're like, they don't bring anything extravagant.
No.
They're just like, it's a 2x4.
yeah.
So, but
Yeah. I wouldn't sell it, I don't think. But I don't want that $12,000 bill if it ever comes.
No. And I mean, yes, you can do stuff to mitigate damage, like slow stuff down, but at the end of the day, you don't want to, let's say you have that fuel trap and all that, those filters, and if your CP4 fails, it catches it all and it's not a $12,000 bill. Well, it's still going to be a $5,000 bill.
Yeah.
Because unless you go in there and change it yourself, it's not just a unbolt and bolt a new one in.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
CP4 is expensive as it is anyway.
But I say just the CP4, I think it's like $3,200.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I'm trying to, like, part of me is wanting to go get that 2025 when it comes out.
Yeah.
And trade in, because mine's still fairly new. I mean, make the note on it anyway. But I'm like, do I do
is
that?
that a risk you're willing to take?
Yeah. It's like, if it's true and everything is better, because their transmission, it's a 8-speed ZF, which is, again, what like medium duty trucks have, not pickups.
Yeah.
That's what U-Haul trucks, so to speak, basically have. So part of me is like, I want that because I do use the truck for those specific things. But I've got the ASIN in mind, so I don't see a reason. And if anything, if I need another truck, I'll just get one of those.
Yeah.
But until then, I don't see myself needing that. Might get honestly, I've thought about getting a 5500 to turn into a chip truck.
I've seen those.
I mean, they do the thing.
They do the thing.
But I don't want to deal with DEF and all that. Honestly, my chip truck now, it's...
Yeah.
If something happens to it, like powertrain wise, I'm rebuilding the motor. I've already put a new transmission in it. So I'm gonna get all that taken care of. I like that truck. I don't know. Cody might not. He's been driving it a lot lately, but chip truck. It's truck. He said I don't have to walk to work. So
it drive.
Hey. Especially now since he changed the fuel filters finally. And
dude, that was so aggravating. I felt so dumb. I was like, I got to thinking, I was like, I was thinking it was a boost leak. And then I got to thinking, I'm like, I've had that truck for it was 2.5 years. I was like, I don't think I ever changed the fuel filter in that thing.
That thing is driven a lot too.
And it's probably been driven more. It's the only piece of equipment that I still have that I had whenever I started the tree company.
Yeah.
Everything else. Literally everything else has changed. The tractor, the chipper, that truck is the only thing that's still original.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a 95. Same year as me. Same model as me.
It do be rolling.
So.
I don't even remember.
Truck.
How much did the old red dually go for at the auction? I don't remember exactly. Whenever you tried
23.
to buy it.
Okay,
yeah. That's right.
My max bid was 20 and went for 23.
Yeah. I should have bought that thing.
Well, to be honest, at 20, I would have kind of, sort of, went for it.
It's just a little bit of a risk, though. I mean,
it's still risky because, I mean, it melted a lot of the harnesses. So you're going to have to replace a harness. You're going to have to... Now, I don't know how much goes into it to having to replace all that. But, I mean, it was a good truck. That truck was... Oh, man. It was ideal. Like, I like it more than I like the dually we have now because this one's cabin chassis and they don't do cabin chassis with a high output.
Yeah.
The other one was an ASIN transmission and a high output diesel. So I had the higher it was stock, more horsepower.
Yeah.
And
it did not.
Pretty color.
Oh,
it really was a good truck. And then when it burned, I was like, well, you know what? I do tree work and stuff gets damaged anyway, so I'm just gonna. That's whenever I was like, I'll just buy an old truck and I won't have a payment and I'll just fix it as it as it needs it. That cost me more money than a new truck. Yeah, that was stupid.
8 months later.
Yeah. Man,
everybody got to learn something.
It makes me so mad because I could have took that $8,000. Like realistically, because let's see, I paid $4,000 for the second gen and the other one would have been $5,000. So there's another $9,000.
Yeah.
So let's just call it $18,000 that I could have went and just put towards a new truck.
Put a down payment down.
And not had to worry about it the whole time.
Yeah.
I went and bought the new dump trailer. Guess what? I had to use Ruben's truck to go pick it up. I needed to go get stuff from like all that crap. So
It's just headache.
it's,
Yep.
I guess depending on what you do. Like for me, all our work revolves around equipment, excavators, loaders, skid steers, trailers.
Yep. That deck over.
That too. Yeah, the deck over was
That was a good
definitely
move.
the money move. So I don't know.
Yep.
I've got big visions for Freedom Wood Company. Like between the cranes. Ideally, if I could just win the lottery right now and set up the business right now, it would be grapple truck, like big grapple truck, at least 70-yard truck. The big chip truck, high capacity chip truck,
Yep.
at least 30, 35 yards, 18-inch chipper. The grapple saw and a rear mount bucket. Because honestly, the truck I have now is good, but if I get a grapple saw, I want a rear mount, like the short wheelbase, like the ones we saw that Aslan had, the short rear mount bucket trucks, because
Get them things anywhere.
Yeah, you get them anywhere. So, or if I was starting over right now, if I was starting from scratch, that is what I would get. And that's about $2 million worth of equipment, and that's not going all out and buying everything new.
Yeah.
And that's not
Your crane,
including,
your crane is going to be $800,000. You can get a bucket truck, a good bucket truck for around $100. New, they're around $200.
Yeah.
So that's your 9 there.
your grapple truck's gonna be
Grapple truck is going to be around $400,000,
Yeah,
$400,000 to
so it's like
$500,000 for a new one.
yeah.
So that's, let's say that's 1.3 there. A chip truck is going to be 100 and 150 all day for a decent one.
Chipper is gonna be 100.
I already said chipper, so
Oh yeah.
100 for a chipper.
Stupid.
Yeah, stay with the program.
Stupid.
Just roast them. But yeah, I mean,
Just what?
realistically, even there in the dump trailer, I mean, I wouldn't even have a dump trailer because the
Yeah, the
grapple truck would take care of it. The loader, I'd still have the same loader I got now.
It's not loaded.
Let's just say, I mean, you get a few extra bells and whistles and attachments. Let's say $100,000 for a loader. Honestly, 1.6. If you invest $2 million into a tree business, if you have $2 million to invest in it, and that would include a good laydown yard, because you can get a 5-acre piece of commercial property for probably $150,000. Put a building on it, that's going to be at least $200,000-$300,000. So there's your $2 million right there. You get that, and you're set up like that, you can make 7 figures a year easy.
Oh yeah.
That's like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that's just one crew. That's like knowing what I know now. I wish I knew that
Yeah.
When you started.
when I first started. And that's a 7-figure crew. I mean, if you get the work, you probably, especially if you're just starting out, you're probably going to have to travel to make those payments to get that
Yeah.
paid off. But realistically, a $2 million business loan is, I mean, I don't know if there's companies that, banks that work with you like that, but you get a $2 million business loan, that's probably around $20,000 a month is what you're going to have to pay. So that's a lot of money. You got to be able to, but
Yeah.
there's guys that make, like I know, what's his face? The guy with the crane, Airborne.
Yeah.
They do about $60,000 a month.
That's wild.
So it's definitely doable if you have the right equipment.
Yep.
Yep.
So
Just a learning process.
it is.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it's nice to see every step of the way. It's just sometimes it feels like you're wasting time. Like if I,
Yeah, go backwards.
whenever
go
I,
forwards.
the truck that flipped, I bought that in May. The dually burned in September. We started driving the chip truck in Basically right after the
Let's say it's like
dually burn,
not
we
too long
started
after.
driving it.
Yeah.
And at the time I got that truck, the forestry truck, because it was just me and him. You started working with us 2 months later. So now I have an extra driver. So I would have never got the forestry truck. I would have got a rear mount if I'd have known that we'd have had a separate chip truck.
the party.
Fuck you, James.
So,
I'll take the
but
blame.
man, you know what? It's been a good journey. I'm telling you, it's
Oh, yeah.
it's exciting to like, especially Eli said earlier, like, when you got a good crew and you don't mind working with them, you don't mind
Exactly.
dealing with them every day. It ain't too bad.
Like I told you, if you were
So it's kind
boring,
of crazy how
I wouldn't have
started
stayed
working with
very
you
long.
guys.
Yeah,
I just like needed some work
yeah.
for a couple months. I almost didn't even text you because I talked to Ruben about it. And he's like, I could help you out every now and then, whatever. He's like, I'm gonna text Sam. I was like, I don't really know Sam like that. Just be like, hey, I need help. Give me some work.
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck it, I ain't got nothing else to do.
Well,
I need to do something. I can't sit at home.
and the thing was about
lose
it
my
too.
shit.
You'd came and did a few jobs with me, and then you went
I was like,
to work, and then Ruben he kept.
this is like
We
going
were
back and
bouncing
forth.
back and forth, and I
It
was
was
like,
like,
"Yeah,
if
I
you
keep
needed
him
me-
busy. Between me and him, we keep you busy."
Yeah.
And then that guy called and was like, "Hey, I want a job."
Yeah,
And
I
I was like,
remember
"You
that.
know what? All right, cool. Let's
You need
try
someone
it."
full time. Yeah.
I had him for like a day, and then I thought about like he wasn't bad. He was just one of those that wouldn't leave you the hell alone.
Yeah.
So
Give me
after
this.
that,
Give me that. I need work. I need this. I need
yeah, and it was raining. Like he worked on, let's say, Tuesday. It rained Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
Welcome to Mobile.
and then and he was like, "Man, I need the work." I was like, "Well, it
I
ain't
don't
like I'm working and you're not." I was
Yeah.
like, "Dude, it's raining." So I just told him, I was like, "Dude, you're gonna have to find another job. I ain't doing
Find
this
something more
to you."
constant for
This
you to
isn't-
go, so you can
It's
stop.
not consistent
And
enough.
after
to
I looked at that,
do
I was
that.
like, what I was paying, getting ready to pay him, was only a little bit less than what I was going to pay you. And I was like, I kind of know you anyway.
Yeah.
Like I trust you
Yeah.
coming to the shop. I don't know him enough to come to the shop.
You just
then-
need Evan. Need something about the family.
Well, and
bit safer
with
bet.
the other thing was, you told me later, you confirmed or denied this on camera, but you liked working with me more than you did with Ruben.
Oh yeah, I love Ruben to death. Me and Ruben were friends since high school.
But the work
Yeah.
is different.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ruben,
You're his equipment. I have equipment. You're his equipment.
I do certain types of work with Ruben. You know, I'm carrying, digging, all this stuff. And don't get me wrong, I ain't scared of manual labor. I'll do it all day long.
But you
I
only
got
do it
the-
for so long.
If I got the choice where I can, drag a couple limbs to a chipper and
Let the chipper do the
make
work.
fun of people and pick up a loader every now and then,
Hey,
do that all
that's
day.
what's up.
I'll do that all day.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, so I was bouncing back and forth between you and Ruben for a while.
Yeah.
And then you were like, fuck Ruben.
Honestly, the people that are in this room and get one more guy that way, because like my goal and vision for Freedom Wood Company is like either you or the equivalent of you, because I want to get Cody off of running stuff so much. Maybe have him there for the CDL, like, hey, drive the chip truck, but when we get there, you're cameraman.
Yeah.
Because we've got the content. I mean, at least I feel like we do. I feel like
Oh,
we've
yeah.
got good content.
We do enough cool
but
shit.
we
that,
can't. We can't do everything. Like Cody can't drag limbs and be the tractor and be
video,
the camera guy.
yeah.
So like, if we can have guys that, because I think we come to realize that a 4-person crew operates pretty good. You got your,
That's all
your
I've known,
cutter,
but I like it.
You've got your cutter, you've got your equipment operator, your loader guy, and you got your 2 draggers.
Yep.
That way, it's not all on one person dragging.
Yep.
So that's for a good size job. I mean, I think we can tackle any size job with that.
Those 4
Yeah,
guys.
for sure.
On a bigger job where it's multiple runs, that's where Cody's on camera, but he can also run to the
Yeah, you
dump.
can take a truck, come back.
So, I mean, I don't know. He's over there plotting on how to get the hell away from me as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So this
but
poor
this
guy.
Might be
That's
the last
my-
episode.
This poor guy thinks I'm here to
That's my
stay.
goal, though, is to be able to get a crew that we can, and obviously that's why, I gotta make sure I have enough work to be able to, because that payroll alone right there is like $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to stamp out. And the numbers I ran earlier, if you need 20 grand a month to make a note, and like on all your equipment, and then you've got another 10 grand in
labor,
in payroll,
Yeah.
and then maintenance. You have
And
you
you
have
still
a $1
gotta-
million machine. It's
Then-
costing you some maintenance.
Fuel.
You're
Yeah.
spending. You're going to be spending 2 to 5 grand a month on maintenance.
Yeah.
Easy,
oh yeah,
not counting fuel.
Fuel's gonna
So
be a big
like,
bill.
And then you
so
still
you
gotta pay
make
yourself.
60 grand a month just to be able to maybe have
Float.
10 that you can float and put away
yeah,
because that $20,000-$30,000 repair is coming.
oh yeah,
Yep.
So, like, those are all things the must be nice don't realize.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what'll be the must be nice that I agree on is having a dedicated camera guy that can be there, like your media guy. I mean, Diesel Brothers, they've got a whole freaking crew.
Advantage.
That's right.
Right back at you, bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
Get Cody.
I mean, and this isn't all to just take credit on myself. I did all this. I'm like, this is God sent. Everything from just quitting and doing this on my own to how I got this dude shows up to buy mulch
yeah.
and his dad hires him for me. Ain't that something?
That's kind of backwards.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, do you want a worker? Well, you're getting one. I'm like, all right.
Bet.
No, I think actually that's what it was. I had that kid work for me.
Oh yeah.
We'll just we'll just call him City in Mississippi. So the capital of Mississippi was working for us, and he was like, he freaking worked for us barely a day, and that was a calm day. Cody remembers that. That was a nothing day. All I had him do was weed eat, and he thought we were trying to kill him. And that was June. That was July 3rd. July 4th, I was at home. That's when they showed up to get the mulch. And then July 5th, I had a big job coming up.
Big
So-
job.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
Or actually,
15-year-old.
July 5th was the one in Pritchard, because that was like your entry level. That was the one clearing the driveway
Yep.
that they ended up taking forever to pay on.
Yep.
That was like, all right, this is kind of the gist of it. And then the following day was the big job. We worked that, and
Yeah.
then
I remember that.
Wrecked his BMW.
yeah,
What
I'm
a
convinced he wrecked his car to not have to go back to work.
Oh yeah.
Genuinely, my thought. I could be wrong, but then his dad was like, "All right, I'll take you," and he's like, "Shit," because I didn't even fire him. I think he understood what was up because I kept fussing at him all day. I'm like, "Dude, come on,
Do
like, hurry up!"
shit. Do shit.
Yeah, and then his dad came and got him. We weren't even done with work. His dad came and got him, and I paid him right there on the spot. And then that was it.
Yeah.
I don't
wasn't
think he
even
wanted to
16
come
yet.
back. He was older than you at that point. I think he was 17. Like after that, and I was like, I don't know. It's crazy because anytime I've ever hired additional help, I was like, man, I don't know if I can afford it. Anytime I was like, I don't know if I can afford this, I do it, and then it just works out. So maybe I need to just buy $1 million crane and just figure it the fuck out.
I mean, hey,
Let it all fall into place.
No, but it's been a blessing, especially the freaking storm. I mean, that worked out good.
Yep.
I don't know about that.
It'd have been better if he was there.
It really would have.
No,
It'd been
Colby did good. It does what it's told. He hung out with Evan more than
Yeah.
us. He was like, hey, if you need me, then
Yeah.
I'll which was also fine by me because I was like, I don't want to have to bill for extra people if we don't have to. Now there were some jobs where like we had Evan, Colby, like it was
Yeah,
a stacked
had a
crew.
full crew.
We had the pictures of it, and it wasn't just like, oh, let me upcharge insurance. Like, no, we had to clean up. We had
Yeah,
a
there's a
bunch of
lot
stuff.
going
We had, but it was the crane operator is one thing, and then we had 3 people: you,
Yeah.
me, Evan. Well, I guess 4, Colby. But it was always kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
Because after a while, Evan had to start doing stuff at the church. So,
Yeah.
And then it was just us 3.
yeah. Then after we went home and went back up there,
Then
we
he
got.
came.
Then Cody could come. Because the thing is, we did a job on Thursday, or it maybe even was Friday. No, it was Friday, because we did a job. The hurricane had hit, and we were doing the job at the church at Christ United, and and I was like, hey, if you want me to, I come back and cut the rest of this tree. Speaking of which, I ain't got paid for that job yet. Anyway,
It's been a while.
I forgot. No, I haven't invoiced him, so that's on me. But I was like, man, if you want it cut, we can get it cut probably tomorrow, because I'm not going in this storm. It ain't gonna be worth it. That was Friday morning. I'm saying that, and
Saturday at noon.
and then 24 hours later, we're pushing. And like, that's how quick that happened. And Mallory's like, you're gonna go to this storm. I was like, no, I'm not going to the storm. It's like, it's not
Too
worth
far,
it. Yeah, it's not worth
Everybody's
it. I'm not
gonna be
going.
there, I mean.
And she's like, you're just gonna go. And I'm like, what? And then I was working security for homecoming, and I was like, I called her. I was like, hey. She's like, I know. I was like, good thing we're on the same page. But honestly, I think if Colby wasn't leaving, I probably would have not went. But like, the fact that Evan's house got hit,
Yeah.
Jared's house got hit, I was like, ooh, I want to go.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I was like, but how am I going to get up there? How is this going to work logistically? And then I call him. I was like, hey, can you go? I know it's last minute. And he's like, hey, you had a what? 1 month old, if that? And he's like, dude, I can't. I can't do that. Like, especially last minute. I was like, that's fine. That's fair. I called him. He's like, dude, Dad's probably not going to let me go. It's like, okay, that's fine. That's fair. I'll figure it out. And I called. So Evan ended up driving the Bighorn, because I drove the dually with the flatbed. I guess in a way we're still touching on what was missed in the first part of the.
Yeah, no kidding.
But the dually had, it was loaded down with all the 5 generators, all the fuel. I mean,
All the fuel,
hundreds
everything.
of gallons of fuel.
Yeah.
Brought up there, and a lot of it we just gave away, honestly. I think. So I remember once we got there, and I did the numbers before we went up there on supplies. We spent $3,500 on supplies between food, fuel, like the trip up there. I counted as supplies. The fuel going up there, it was just the fuel alone was a little over $800. The Costco trip was almost $800 for all the meat and stuff, because Jared, they threw all their groceries away, so we brought groceries up there for them, and then had to go. I bought a spare chainsaw. That's why I got the new 500i.
Yep.
Bought a spare chainsaw. That was $1,500.
That was a good move, though.
And then chains. I think I spent around $5. Yeah, it really was. That was. We spent. Well, I spent about $500 on just miscellaneous chains, bar oil, all that
Making
stuff.
sure you got it all.
So like, before we even made a penny, I spent over $3,000.
Yep.
Yep.
And but once we got up there, it was nice because we were set up. Because like, man, you hit a chain link fence, and I knew that was going to happen. Like, you hit chain, you don't have time to sit there and sharpen. Just swap it out. We sharpen it all later. We got all that set up. Evan drove. I had all the supplies, like work supplies, on the what you call it?
The flatbed.
On the flatbed and the dump trailer and the loader and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so
it
we
was all
had
one.
all the tools and all the fuel generators. That was all on there. I took like 6 big Yetis up there. Like, we had the Bayou ice box, I think is like 80 quarts. And then
Lord.
the 2 65 quart Yetis. Then 45 Yetis.
Yeah, 2 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, that truck was
That's a lot of.
that's a lot of weight. And then we had 12 cases of water, and this was all in the Bighorn. So we had 12 cases of water, all that meat, every one of the coolers we topped off with ice right before we left. So we got up there, we were ready. We stopped about an hour and a half outside of, and that's the nice thing, that flatbed is 50-gallon tank. So I was able to top off. I didn't have to fill it up that much. Plus, we weren't driving that far once.
Yeah.
I don't think we had to get fuel in anything but the loader the whole time we were up there.
For that first week, yeah.
For that, because we didn't go that far.
Yeah.
So that was the plus. And we didn't have a bucket truck that was running all day, because that's what would eat up your fuel.
Yeah.
So we actually did pretty good. We ended up supplying, giving out more fuel than what we used that first week. And that was a good move. Colby was driving your dad's truck. We got all that up there. And then the thing is, the day that I think we actually ended up leaving.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Evan had said something about wanting to leave by 1, and then he pushed to 3.
Yeah.
I think it was 3:30, 4 o'clock. We ended up leaving. We drove whole 8 hours. Basically, we got there around 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And with all that being done, his dad calls, because I'm like, I didn't want him asking. I was like, maybe if I ask and explain the situation. And he thought about it. He's like, let me think about it, and I'll call you back. And the whole while, I'm just getting ready. I'm going with or without them. I already got logistics figured out. Okay, we got truck. Basically, I'd be driving. One guy would have 2 of his trucks up there. I don't know what I'd do with them. Granted, I did ask Evan. I was like, do you think you can work with me up there if I go up there? Because I was like, I can't run all this stuff by myself. He's like, yeah, we should be able to. And then his dad was like, he can go, but here's the condition. He's like, we normally have, was it home church, basically? Yeah. He's like, we have home church on Sunday. He's like, it's important to me. He's like, I'll let him go, but y'all got to go over. Like, I'll give you the notes.
Got to do something, yeah.
And y'all go over. I was like, buddy, we got an 8-hour trip.
Good on him.
We got time.
We got time.
Good on him.
So we covered that. Which he gave us the notes, and he's like, this is an honor system. I'm not going to test you on it. I'm telling you right now. I'm not going to test you on it. I'm not going to quiz you, all this. He's like, but I
do this.
Take that. You got enough respect, basically, to do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, Evan's a pastor, so he goes, oh, good. Yeah, you need to keep them in line. I'm like,
he's a but
yeah. All right, so look.
No offense, Evan. Let me tell you something. You're a great pastor.
Yeah.
He's just a youth pastor.
Yeah. Kind of.
You got to have a little fun.
It's like a reservist. You're still in the military.
Yeah. You can tell he's not full time.
Yeah. No, but so that ended up working out. I think I was at American Power Equipment and I was waiting to check out. I was buying the saw and the chains, and your dad called, and I'm like, hello? Yeah, that's that count. And yes, sir. Yeah, I'm listening. And then like going back and forth, he's like, are you busy? You just need to call me back. I was like, yes, thank you. Because like I didn't want to not answer him, because I'm like, this might be a yes.
Yeah, you don't want to be like, I was gonna say yes, but then
so then he's like, just call me back. And then I called him back, and he said, "Is like, first thing he asked, he's like, how's he getting up there? He didn't want him driving.
Yeah.
And I was like, he'll be riding shotgun with me. He said, okay, that takes care of a lot of it. He's like, then he brought up the church group thing that they were doing, go over the notes. I was like, and we went over it. I made that priority. We went over that before we left. I mean, we were out of the county. We were still going over it, but before Montgomery, we'd covered it.
Yeah.
And then between Montgomery and once we got on 85, by the time we got to Buc-ee's in Auburn, I had a crane. So it was.
I remember that night.
So like we had church, and then from Montgomery to that's what 2 hours. Not even no.
No, it's like an hour.
It's an hour because it's like exit 50, so it's not even an hour. So between Montgomery and Auburn, God provided a crane, provided work, all that, and man, once we got up there, it was just, and it was a frenzy though. Like getting up there, it's so weird because like
Crazy.
Getting up there, you're like, oh, I hope I find enough work. And then you get up there and you're like,
Oh no, there's work.
how do I do this? It's overwhelming how much work.
Dude,
there
I'm
is.
telling you, I was there 2 months after y'all left.
Yeah.
It's
Crazy.
everywhere.
But
It's everywhere.
it was, I'm so glad we did that. We got up there Sunday morning. It was like 2 a.m. Sunday morning. We got up at 4. So like we took a 2-hour nap.
Literally.
We were so tired because I was running all day Saturday trying to get logistics figured out and supplies and all that figured out before I left because I was still planning on leaving at noon and we still left late.
Yeah.
And we drove all night. We got there. And once we got there, everything was so scattered and I had to leave some supply. I didn't want to be dragging 50 generators all over the place. So we got up, I think we got up at 5 actually. And then we unloaded the trucks. I left the generators and stuff for Jared. And unloaded all the meat, got the refrigerator going, all that stuff. And then we went to Evans Church. We worked there till about 4. And then we went and did other work
Yeah.
while we were waiting on the crane to get there. And we did a good bit. That was funny too. As soon as the sun came up, the neighbors, they were like came out and flocked to us because no one was there. I'm willing to bet, without exaggeration, not counting local guys, we were probably in the first 10 might be a stretch, but definitely first 20 crews outside of local guys that were in Augusta. And
Because it wasn't, dude, it was not supposed
there was
to get there.
nobody there. No, everyone passed Augusta. They went to Valdosta. They were in Florida. And then they had to backtrack and go back up.
Yeah.
So for
Because
us...
it never hits that far inland, dude.
No,
It was a shock
especially
to
at
that
Category 2 that far in.
Yeah.
So
It's insane. It rode all the way up the coast. It was crazy.
I didn't know all the way in, punched that far inland. And when we got there, all the neighbors were like happy to see us. And we were working. Greg got there. We were working. And the crane guy. We were knocking stuff out, and we'd go to not everywhere was open. Your restaurants weren't open, all that. And we finally got to the point where Publix was open, so there was a line to go into Publix. It was wrapped out the door.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there and we're waiting. People are like, no, get in front of us. So first responders, linemen, and tree crews could get away with murder, I feel like.
Royalty that.
Yeah, it was so weird because honestly, I wasn't a cop or a firefighter during 9/11, but I imagine that's what it was like, where everyone's just like, oh, let him go. It was cool. It was definitely, it was weird, but it was cool. I was like, oh, thank you. And they're like, no, we insist, go.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. So we'd go, went to the deli, got some food from Publix. And that was actually, I think, why we ate good. Once I got rid of all the food that we brought in. And even then, it's you're not going to go home to cook. That was more so for dinner. It was, It was deli food from either Fresh Market or Publix.
Yeah.
So
Pretty good.
we ate pretty good while we were up there.
Yeah.
Came home. Then Cody was finally able to go. And we went back.
That's
we
when
did
we really
it-
got work done.
Yeah. We went back. We did a week's worth of work in Augusta. And then the hard part, I'll say, was doing the work and getting the work. Because, whenever I went back, there was a lot of times that it was Colby, Cody, and James that were doing the... they were doing the work, and I'd have to go sell work because how are you gonna?
Yeah, you gotta have something ready to go.
You gotta
right.
have you gotta have
it's gotta be
somebody
stacked.
that'll settle it and get a schedule built for you. Because while yes, initially you can just work house after house after house, but after a while it kind of starts thinning out, and there's still work to be done, but you gotta go.
It's not all on the same street. You're not knocking doors.
So that's when they were doing that, and it was kind of trying to knock stuff out. It was a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
And then that's when Moses was like, "Hey, why don't y'all come up here?" And because the second trip up there, we drove up on a Sunday. We got there, we worked Monday through Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sunday, it was a donation job. It was for an older lady. Insurance didn't cover anything because it didn't hit anything. It was just a lot of debris. So we spent, about 4 hours just hauling debris.
Helping her out.
And then we made the 2.5 hour trip to Inman. That's when we worked with Moses. So we got up there Sunday, and then we worked with them Monday through Thursday, I believe. Came home. I think we were home for about 4 days or so.
Yeah.
And then, we were home for a little bit because we had to take care of some stuff at home. And then went back up to Augusta. Stayed there, did that. And then that last trip to Augusta, though, not Augusta, sorry, South Carolina, Inman, that sucked.
Really?
Yeah, that wasn't.
I made more money in the 4 days that we were there the first time. And it wasn't anything really that anyone did. It was just like we couldn't get as much stuff done, as many jobs, because one day we only did one job because my tire flew off, my wheel flew off my truck, the whole wheel.
Yeah.
So that we were knocked out. We couldn't do another job. We were supposed to do like a $2,500 job next. We were headed there.
Yeah.
It would have been an easy job. Well, now that got pushed. So we didn't do that. And I had to spend, that cost me over $1,000 because I had to get a new wheel and all that.
Yeah, it's a whole big process, yeah.
So that cost me. And then another one busted a window out of a car. It's just like stuff was starting to just not work out.
Yeah.
You could tell that's
part-
when like the not planning of it started to kind of come back at you a little bit.
And that's actually why we went to Inman, was because we went to Inman because Moses was doing the work. They had so much work. They had like 200 people on the list.
Yeah.
There's no way that they're still working on that list now. But his partner was doing all the quotes. He was doing on average 13 to 14 quotes a day.
Yeah.
And I'm talking, those are like every bit of 14-hour days. So he was knocking out quotes, and we were just doing jobs.
Yeah.
So that was good, but then it's just stuff started to.
Yeah.
I think we were getting burnt out at that point.
Yeah.
It's like family at home, you're up there. If anything, it was probably most fun for James because he wasn't fighting the war on two fronts. Like Cody had an infant at home. Like, sure, Hayes was 15 months, but it's like Mallory and Hayes at home. And I know a lot of other people do it too. And we weren't the only crews up there. But
just the reality of it.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. I'm like, we were all living in a room about the size of this room.
Yeah.
Actually, probably a little smaller. This one's deeper. That one was like maybe 2/3 of this room. And we're all crammed in there, and that was fine. I appreciate my cousin letting us stay.
Mm-hmm.
But it got
wears
to the point where I was like,
There's enough stuff happening where it's like...
And then on the way home, my freaking truck breaks down and I wreck it.
Yeah.
So, because I can't drive. Apparently I was drinking and driving.
Yeah, he was drunk.
James had a vacation now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was living it up. And honestly, man, I was not gonna lie. I was kind of living through him. I was like, dude, if I was 16, and I got to go
storm chasing.
Yeah, and I got to chase storms and like, look, I treated them right. They'll tell you.
You always do.
Oh, yeah.
I freaking steak dinners almost every night.
We went to
or
Outback.
Steak or whatever. I mean, it wasn't just like, all right, we're gonna.
Yeah, he was a ham sandwich.
Yeah. Like
we went to Outback 6 times anyway, probably. I mean, it was pretty often.
We went to Outback. We went to Texas Roadhouse. We went to a bunch of different. We had every morning. We went to Granny's Kitchen while we were in Inman, South Carolina. Went to Granny's Kitchen. It's like a Waffle House that doesn't suck, or like all the people there had no felonies, all their teeth. Kind of how like we are as a tree crew in the industry. That's how they were as a breakfast place. And it's like,
that's good.
It was a family place. Like that, They were nice to look at.
Your silverware was clean.
Yeah, and it was always the same people there every morning. It was like a routine thing. We'd get up early. We'd get up at 5, and it wouldn't get bright till 7.
Yeah.
But we'd get up at 5 just to go eat at
Get
Granny's
everything
kitchen.
loaded up and go eat.
Yep.
I normally don't even eat breakfast.
I was like, I'm not a big breakfast. I'll grab something.
I went we went really just to get going because it takes you a while. You gotta warm up.
Gotta build up for the day.
So
they got to know us enough. Get there, coffee's already on the table.
Yeah, they got, like, we walk into the door, she walks out. Hey, how y'all doing? And have the we were trying to get James to flirt with the waitress since we couldn't.
It's like getting a camel through the eye of a needle.
Yeah, and
James don't like to flirt.
But she was married, so
that don't matter.
yeah.
I don't know why we dapped up for that.
Yeah,
but we dapped up.
Yeah.
We did it. It happened. It's on camera. They saw it.
Her husband's in the army, so it didn't count. 2 army dudes in the room. You're in National Guard. That's even.
You almost said it.
Yeah. I'm Marine Corps Reserve, so it's like active duty Army. So we're all on the even playing field.
Good grief.
Screw this. I might come back to work for you.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Don't make fun of me.
It's some bullshit.
He's going to work for Ruben again.
All right, look. I don't hate myself.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah. No, I'm still gonna come back. I'm just gonna bitch about it, but like I'll come back.
I'm just not gonna like it.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was good to be home.
Oh, yeah.
Timing was good on the new bucket truck. I come home. We came home on Sunday. The bucket truck was delivered on. We came home Sunday night. Bucket truck was delivered Tuesday. I told James, I said, this is now part of life, like storm chasing. But I will say this, it's going to be different. It's not going to be like it is. Like, I feel like the last half of that was just doing work, but out of town. It wasn't storm work. It was just they had so much work that they couldn't get it all done. Yeah. So we're having to mulch. We're having to chip and haul stuff off. It's not FEMA pickup, so we're not doing as much. So it was definitely a different. And we weren't using our equipment. We were using. It was just the setup wasn't right. The first 2 weeks, phenomenal. Yeah. Like that's
moving
like,
stuff aside the road. We're getting it done.
You hit a storm. Like if a storm hits, you got to be there. You work the first 2 weeks, because usually after 2 weeks, if there's still trees on houses, there's a reason.
Yeah.
It's not because no one got to them. So, and depending on the storm, the first week. If there's stuff after the first week, then here's a reason. So that's my goal is, dude, some of these numbers that, like I talked to some of these guys, some of the numbers that they made from Helene, 3 weeks. Like we were in total probably 5, but they were 2 to 3 weeks.
In and out.
These numbers. Insane. And it's like when you don't have a crane and you sub the crane out, like a going rate for a crane is $7,500 a day. So if you can line up 2 or 3 jobs and knock out those jobs with that crane and pay him cash, you can take the bigger piece of the pie if you're willing to, if you've got the money to pay the man up front and got the money in the reserves and the capital to wait to get paid, because it's 60 to 90 days before you get paid from insurance.
Yeah.
So there's those guys, and like, but if you do everything in-house, so if you got your own crane, you got your own crew, and you go and tackle this stuff, and you're not subbed out to whoever, I don't even want to say it. Some freaking money to be made. It's like, it's almost like that's not a real number.
Yeah. Like, are you sure about that?
Yeah, like my favorite thing to do was I had a picture of a house. I said, "How much is this?" I was like, what's your guess? What is this house worth, or what is this tree worth being removed? And they're like,
$8,000.
Yeah, like $8,000 was a high number. Like, I was like, whatever seems ridiculous to you, what would you say? And they're like, I don't know, like $4 or $5,000. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I was like, double it, give it to the next person, so they did the same thing. You know, it's like, but it's not like you're not just gonna show up with a chainsaw and make that kind of money. You got to have that, because insurance will pay reasonable cost incurred for damages.
Yep.
And the process of getting cleaned up. So if you show up with a backpack blower, a skid steer, and a chainsaw, and you charge $20,000, that's not a reasonable price. Maybe if you're there a week, but why are you there? Like, what are you doing at that point?
Yeah, what?
So that's not reasonable. When you show up with $1 million crane, all of a sudden that's very reasonable.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yep.
So, but I learned a lot. I'm like, it's like an addiction. I don't have an addictive personality. I feel like nicotine, alcohol, all that. Like, I'm not addicted to it. I could take it or leave it. It's gone.
Yeah.
But it's like, I remember we're working 20-hour days because I'm like, this is dope. Like, being able to, like, working 20-hour days, coming back, throwing some bland piece of meat on the Blackstone, eating it with or without seasoning, didn't matter. At that point, it's just calories. And then, I mean, we only did that for about 3-4 days. The first several days. And then I was like, all right, let's wake up not before the sun is up, because I was like, we don't have lights. We don't, like, there's no point in us getting all bent out of shape just to.
Yeah, that first night with the crane, doing it at night the first time.
I mean, he didn't get there till 7:30.
Yeah.
So yeah, first job was a night job.
Dope. That was fun.
That was heck, oh, man, and that was, man, talking about trial by fire. Like, that guy showed up. He was a few days late because he ran into some problems with the crane and had some damages. He shows up. We're like, all right, let's get this done. Big, huge, probably the biggest tree that we did.
Yeah.
Huge pecan. Fell over, landed on the house, landed on the fence. And I'm still in awe over this truck.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe that I got a truck like this last minute, and it's actually working out. It's actually here.
Yeah.
Like, my dreams are coming true. And he's like, I'm not going to lie, man. I've only done like 6 jobs with this crane. He's like, my boss just bought it. Like, he only got it a few months ago, and we're learning it. I was
it's funny because we saw the truck for sale too. That one.
Yeah. So, man, it was crazy. He got in, we hooked up. You know, we figured out how, because everyone uses different rigging and stuff. So we figured out their rigging points. We got it up off the roof, and it's not just like, okay, you pick it up. Like, there's a hole in the building. So some of the stuff is wedged up under there to where if you pick it straight up, you're going to rip the roof off. If you cut it, it's going to fall all the way to the bottom in the house.
Yeah.
So, like, you have to rig it up to where you can cut it, but it'll just dangle.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just, like, hangs loose and then pulls out. And a lot of the stuff, like, it was getting further away, and I was like, there's no way he can make these picks. And we were picking some huge limbs. And not only that, like, this is where I got to see how good of an operator he was, and he got to see how good of a climber and rigger I was, because he's like, all right, I'm good for this much out here, you know, and he's giving me the readouts, and I was like, all right, well, this is still green, it's still wet, I've only been on the ground for like 2 days. There's a lot of leaves there, and it was at night, so it's kind of hard to see where the canopy's in. Yeah, it's hard to judge.
Yeah.
And you're picking the furthest most out. So that's tagged in there, and I'm like, all right, so there's a lot of brush over there, but this is like, I mean, these are big limbs because I'm cutting them with the 500.
Yeah.
They're like 18, 20-inch leaders. And the way I'm cutting them, you got to make sure it's not going to shift, because if it shifts, then it shock loads the boom. The boom's likely to fail. It's just a lot that can go wrong. So making balanced cuts and picks, it was doing all that. And he was like, I was impressed with him because I'm like, you're smooth with it. You're not like letting it drop too far.
Yeah.
He was impressed with me making good judgment on the picks.
Yeah.
Because they were like, this is the limb I cut. It might shift a little bit to where it breaks loose. Then he gets it up and comes back out, sets it down. Evan was on the loader the whole time. It was Evan on the loader, Colby on the saw. He was on picture duty, and I was rigging. Greg was operating. So like everyone had their their spot
planned out.
Yeah, and we were moving everything to the road. So we were taking huge picks. Like, man, you know that piece. You know that piece that we sent over, the one that I made the reel about, with the So pieces that were about 2 to 3 times the size of that top. He was picking, setting them down, and then picking it apart, moving it to the road, and then by the time he'd be done, we would have another one ready for him.
Dang.
So it was just go, and like a lot to process. Oh yeah.
And some of those tops would be like, pick it up, and then he'll be like, yeah, that's only like 65% capacity.
Yeah, he's like, we're at 65%, and he's 80 foot out, or about 60 to 70 foot out.
That's insane.
And he's like, yeah, we're at, and we'd be taking, 5,000-6,000 pound picks. He's like, yeah, I'm at 60-65%.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where I had to use the 661. We were cutting stuff that was like 40 inches in diameter,
Let me find some pictures.
6 foot long. He's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm only at 50% capacity. He's like, yeah, I'm good for 60,000 pounds right here. I was like, holy crap, dude.
That's insane.
That's wild.
Those things are legit.
So that's where I was like, yeah, I got to get one of these. It's safer.
I've got to get me one of these.
It's very capable. It's just, and I think we started working at 8. We were done about 11. Yeah. And that was getting everything off the house, getting everything out of the woods, getting, like, you've got the picture of us standing in front of the...
Yep, I'm trying to find it.
Us standing in front of the root ball. Root ball is like floor to ceiling.
Yeah, 11:30 that night we were blowing off the
driveway.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just everything about the whole process was...
It's hard to tell. But that is a chunk.
Like, you kind of got to use judgment of, like, size reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, at the base of that leader, that's every bit of 20 inches.
And what I like is, if you look, all the lights, they're motioned to wherever it's pointed, it's always in the work area. So I need to figure out how I can make that happen on the boom.
Yeah.
Because that truck, for now at least, I mean, it's got to get some legit lighting on it, man. It was...
Cody's going to work with one whenever we get one.
That's insane.
I like how whenever he pulled up and we were all just like...
Yeah. I was like, all right, wipe yourselves. Clean yourselves up.
Get ready, we got work to do.
Yeah, we got a lot done.
The biggest thing was the setup time on that crane was quick.
Yeah, and there's other cranes that set up, like the one that Joe's selling.
Mm-hmm.
There is good and bad about it. The good is it's fairly cheap. It's only $225 for it. It's a stronger boom than these booms are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's stronger. It's faster setup because the saw's always attached. You don't have to spend your time to attach. One of the major drawbacks is, one, it's not rear mounted, which that's neither here nor there. You can go over the cab. It's not that far. But then the other thing is it doesn't have 360 rotation.
That's a big thing.
And I mean, it can be. It's nice to have the ability to grab and go all the way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, let's say there's a lot of tree right here. You're picking something here, and you want to grab and go all the way around to here to drop it. Well, if your starting position is here, you can't go all the way around because you get bottomed out here. You have to hopefully have enough clearance to go up and over whatever obstruction is to set it down right here. Yeah. So 360 is very important, I feel like. And that's why I was like, man, if I'm spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, I'm going to get...
You don't want to be in 2 years being, okay, now I need to get a different one.
Good thing is about that thing, though, insurance still pays the same whether it's a brand new truck or an old one. So you pay that one off in a week. Really, in 2 days.
Honestly.
If you get the right job, 2 to 3 days, you'll pay that thing off. And then it's just pocket it all after that.
Just cash.
But you never know, like, that's assuming everything works. God forbid something breaks down on you, and now you've got tens of thousands of dollars in breakage and damage.
And that's all time when you can't use it.
And that's time. And then by the time you get it fixed, every other company around there got it done.
Yep. So that's where BIK comes in? Guy flies out?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm like, really.
Just do it right. Get the big one.
But, man, it's just like so awesome just seeing that thing work. It's like, and even with having to put the saw head on it,
easy.
It still didn't take him that long. Like, it takes him, how long would you say it takes us to set up our truck, our
Bucket
crane?
truck?
About 2 minutes, if that.
Yeah, if that.
It's 4 outriggers.
Longest part is getting all the pads out.
Yeah. So that one, it's the same thing. It's getting the pads out, which it's got same pad storage and stuff. It's 5 outriggers or stabilizers that go out on that thing. So let's say it takes you, assuming you don't have to do cribbing. If you got to do cribbing, that takes longer. But on average, if you, a good case scenario is it takes you 3 minutes to set out pads and stabilizers. It takes you another 5 minutes to just get the remote, unfold, go out, and hook up the pin and the saw. You're under 10 minutes in setup time.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's really not.
I like the way, I wish the hydraulics on that thing, I wish those are on the loader. The little lever and stuff.
I think you can get them after, like you can get that set up aftermarket, and I'm not most willing to spend the money, but then I have to do all my attachments like that.
Yeah,
that's true.
And again, I don't have too many attachments like that. I mean, just in general, I only use one hydraulic thing.
Yeah.
But but that attachment also, it's everything. It's hydraulic and electric. So it's not just hydraulic lines. But I'm still over here dreaming about it because it was awesome. I'm glad I got to do that. And that way I didn't buy it or even getting to play with it just so I can go, yes, I for sure want one. I'm not just... Because I've seen them in demos. I've seen them kind of like going to Arbor Fest. You see them, you get to play with them. Okay, fine. But all it is, they bring in and they strap a foam pole up, or, let's say foam pole, just a pine log that's 20 foot long. And they're like, all right, here you go. You can go and you cut like 16-inch sections off. And you're like, okay, grab it, cut it, see what it does. And then you go set it down over there. You can turn it, twist it, bop it. Set it down all the way over there. That's cool. But when you're
the real life
in a
situation,
real world situation,
you see how it can make money.
Yeah, man, it's telling you, I was like a kid in a candy store. So, maybe by the time you're done with your training and you're home, I might have. And honestly, I keep having that fight. Do I buy the grapple truck?
Grapple truck or the grapple
grapple saw? And I don't think you'll go wrong with either one of them. Because if you get the right grapple truck, you back that thing up to a house. Like most of the ones that we worked at, we couldn't do that one that was in the back. You know what I'm talking about? Like the long house with the... we couldn't do that one. But if it's on the house and you pull right up to it, those grapple trucks, they're good to pick. I think some of them are 20,000 pounds, if I'm lying correctly. But they, you can back it up, the rear mounts, and you can pick stuff off of houses because a lot of those have 40 foot of reach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get that, you can handle your debris hauling and your. So I think it just depends. But I know with the crane, I can make money setting AC units for.
Yeah. It ain't got to be a tree.
Yeah, that's.
You can rent that thing out. You can do all kinds of stuff.
And it's a tighter. It's a tighter
Footprint.
package, yeah. Because like, I can have the. For instance, let's say we were at Chad's, that last job that we did for him.
Yeah.
Like having, we could have got up to the edge of the driveway, set up, have the chip truck set up by the road, and just grab and set, grab and set, grab and set, make big chunks, make those picks, and not had to reposition the truck. Even those little trees, like around the property line, those would either just fell them over and then maybe move them a little closer if they need to be with the loader and then get them to the front yard with the grapple, or just reach up, grab it, make a cut from the bottom, and then it picks it up and moves it.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
I've been yapping a lot about it. Man, you get me started on that thing. I'd do some unholy things for one of those. It's 1 o'clock, so I think that's a pretty good episode. Catching up.
Getting close.
End of episode 4, I guess. Had a good time. And thanks for watching this SamBar podcast. Watch, subscribe, watch all our other videos. We do cool stuff, I promise. It's not just the video work. Like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever all the YouTubers say. You know what to do. You're not new to this. Chances are, if you're watching us, you've probably been on YouTube for a hot minute, and then now you see us. But if you want some of our merch, we'll just comment. We're going to get the website set up and all that fun stuff to be able to sell merch. But thanks for watching.
Heck yeah.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Happy New Year. Well, you'll be watching this in the year of 25. We'll be.
Congratulations, you made it.
Yeah, this is time travel, really.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We did it. All right.